What's up, y'all? Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. My favorite thing about the holidays? Decking out my whole house. It's not a competition, but if it was, well, I'd win the season with Wayfair. Outdoor inflatable Santa? Got it on Wayfair. Trees, lights, and ornaments? Wayfair. Hosting must-haves like dining sets, beds, sheets, and towels? Wayfair. For everything in your style delivered with fast and free shipping, visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app to win the season. But again, it's not a competition.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, kitties. This is your Domi, the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Welcome to Slasher Radio. Your host Mikey Bones, Cat Velour, and a returning Rob Humphrey.
And where are my balls? That's right.
Welcome back.
Calm down, everyone. Calm down. I'm back. The show's going to be fine.
Right. Did you hear all the tomfoolery and shit that Cat and Allie did last while you were gone, Rob?
Huge on penis.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mikey, because horror court.
Holy shit.
What?
Okay.
Horror
What did
court.
I do?
We have many charges to be brought up tonight
Oh, shit.
in horror court. And I will say an absurd amount of them are being brought against Miss Cat Velour.
I don't think that's fair.
Oh.
My public defender is really drunk today. I don't like this.
Well, charge number one is indeed against Cat Velour, who said it was refreshing to do the show without me there.
That's not true. I said it was refreshing to have Allie back.
Oh, no, you said it was refreshing that I wasn't
I?
there, and also refreshing that Allie was there.
I'd like to maybe call another horror court for her saying it was refreshing that Allie was there, maybe, too, while you're at it.
Charge number two, also against Miss Cat Velour, who doubled down on Saw being a better franchise than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or whatever the fuck that talk was.
Uh-huh.
Ridiculous, Cat.
Oh, yeah. I did double down, and I would again.
I think it's actually not the entire franchise. It's the first four movies.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the first four.
Yeah, ridiculous statement. But we now have another charge, and this one is against Mikey Bones.
What'd I do?
You said Saw 2 is better than TCM 2.
Yeah, it is.
It
I stand
is.
by that. It is.
The next charge is against Cat and Allie.
What?
Oh,
Because
nice.
they didn't argue with Mikey when he said Saw 2 was better than TCM 2.
That's because Mikey was right. That was the best opinion he had the whole episode.
Saw 2 is not better than
Whoa.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah.
Saw 2 doesn't even have Chop Top.
That's
It is missing
that's
Chop
true.
Top.
It doesn't have Chop Top. It doesn't have Slim. Is that her name?
Yeah.
I'm kind of drunk. Yeah, no. TCM 2 is far superior to Saw 2.
I don't think so, man.
The next charge in tonight's list is against Kate.
What?
Apparently, Kate agreed with Kat about something. I don't remember what, but no agreeing with Kat, Kate.
Yeah. I still don't remember what it was, but yeah, she did. So that's fair.
Yeah.
I think we should agree with me about more stuff, actually.
I don't know about that.
Well,
We've got two more charges. The next one for Kat and Mikey both. You guys both talk shit about Mark Hamill, and that's not cool.
The fact that you bring up first, okay, there's a couple different things that need to be mentioned there. But on that, I wasn't so much talking shit about Mark Hamill. It's just I was talking shit about you bringing up Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill's a very talented man.
That's
Why
true.
would I bring him up?
You bring him up in the vein of him being the real Chucky and all that bullshit solely to piss me off.
Absolutely, I do. Yes. But he's still a very talented man. He's the best part of that Fall of the House of Usher thing.
he is really good in Fall of the House of Usher.
I never said he wasn't.
Yeah. Mark
That's
Hamill,
fine.
very talented. You guys slandered his name. Shame on you.
No, we did. Did you forget to bring him up, by the way?
Absolutely, I forgot. Yes, I was in the middle of dealing with some stuff when I had to type up that statement.
Thank God.
The final charge of the evening in this round of horror court is against Kat again. Look at how many charges she got, Mikey, isn't it? I would have thought it would have been you, honestly.
What is going on?
But
I'm
here we
shocked.
are,
Another one.
causing trouble when I'm gone, just running amok. And this is, Kat doesn't want me to visit her at AuthorCon. I mean, that would be great, Kat. They could come by. People, I would sign their books when they bought them.
I don't think you need to be signing my books at AuthorCon.
I would charge a reasonable rate for selfies.
People come up to my AuthorCon booth to get a selfie with Rob.
Yeah.
You know, the sad thing is I'd probably sell.
Right. It'd be great.
Kat, I'll have you know, we were joking about it in Discord, and our Discord is joinable for everybody listening right now. You can find it on Twitter and stuff.
But don't come there and be all fucking weird.
Well, yeah, don't be weird. Yeah, absolutely not. But we were joking about that. Imagine you're sitting there doing your thing, and Rob shows up with like a little mini hold-up table and sits it up next to you and just sits down.
We wear my Tom Atkins rule shirt, my Crocs.
Oh, would you have him kicked out, Kat? Be honest.
Yes.
Nice.
Only if he was wearing Crocs.
Jeez.
But he just said that he would be.
Oh, you knew it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're comfortable shoes. What else am I going to wear? I'm going to be walking around a con all day without comfortable shoes.
AuthorCon would be a Croc-free zone if I had my way.
It'd be fun. I could be in there. I could host a panel. Like, you know, I just call it books. What is this nerd shit?
Yeah, that'll go well.
My favorite part is that a lot of the people at AuthorCon, I'm sure, would like see that title and they'd be like, "Oh, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be a very clever subversion of," and then they'd get it, and it's just you like, "What is this nerd shit?"
Don't you guys know there's TV and movies? What the fuck are you doing? Are you Amish?
Well, I'm relieved that I don't think I should have been in there at all. I mean,
You know, you did a couple of things, but Kat was just out of hand.
That's okay. We're going to be a team for this episode, Rob.
I mean, that's the thing, Kat. I thought we were friends. We got our own little show going on. I thought everything was nice. We go to our other show and we talk shit about Mikey. It's a good time for everybody.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I was in a bit of a mood last week, but I do want to point out, I actually want to thank you for last week, Rob. Despite of all the horror courts that you called against me, your score of Child's Play 2, I think, is the only thing that kept me out of trouble with Mikey.
That was a disgusting score, man.
It's a mid-ass horror sequel.
No, it's not. That's a great movie.
It is the quintessential like example of a horror sequel. Let's just do the first movie again, but not as good.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. And I'll go on record right now. And I didn't quite think of this because I try and watch the movies that we talk about. We got a lot to get to the show, but when we do our movies, I try and watch them the same day and as close to recording as possible that I can get to, get like a real raw reaction.
I have a feeling Kat finished this week's movie about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I've been watching silently I'm kind of going now.
So I didn't really get a chance to sit with it. Like I watched it and then we talked about it. I think, and I'm going to put a percentage at I'm at like a good 90%. I think Child's Play 2 is better than the original.
No, that's fucking stupid.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
That is really dumb.
I said it. I liked it. That's how much I liked it.
I know. You said it. It's recorded and other people heard it.
Yeah.
Now you have to live with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it. Sorry.
That's embarrassing, dude.
I liked it a lot. But we're not talking about Child's Play 2 was last week. We got a lot to get to here this week. We have a Patreon pick. We have a text message to get to. We got to talk about Murder Madness here in a second. We got drink roll call. We're going to be doing horror news. We have been doing memes, but there's been a lot of new shit that popped up. So I figured we could run through that instead. And then we'll get to a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Not even a horror movie.
Oh, on a related note, once we're done with Murder Madness, we're watching Barbie.
We're not watching. We can't watch Barbie.
Why?
We
It's
just
not a
watched this. That's not a horror
Yeah, we
movie.
just watched this. It's not a horror movie. Yeah.
This is 100% a horror movie. We will argue about that later.
And I want to point out that all three of us knew that this was, well, not Mikey didn't know that it wasn't a horror movie. All three of us knew how much of a horror movie we thought this was going in. Mikey hasn't even seen Barbie. He can't even refute it properly.
That's right.
I've seen enough of Barbie. I know it's not a horror movie.
No, I will say right now, Barbie, more of a horror movie than this.
Barbie has a sort of existential dread that this movie wishes it could accomplish.
I don't think it does. It doesn't want dread. This was its own thing. It wasn't. Barbie's not a horror movie.
This isn't either.
Scarier than this is the point.
But a horror movie doesn't need to be scary. Shaun of the Dead wasn't scary.
You set the bar with this movie,
way
Mikey.
Scarier than this. Yeah, you complain a lot, Mikey, about us choosing things that you don't think are horror movies, but this has done a lot of damage to your case.
First of all, I didn't choose this. That's first and foremost. This is a Patreon, but I had nothing to do with this.
You did, though. Because,
How?
first of all, because you allowed it, and second of all, because you weighted the wheel. I heard about this.
Yes, you weighted the wheel. That is true.
Rob's idea was the wheel. I literally had nothing to do with this. It was put up by a patron.
Programmed the wheel.
You are the one who set up the wheel, and this one won multiple times in a row. And then we
4 out of 5.
And then we said flip them, and what happened? The other movie won. You weighted the wheel so that this movie would win.
And then we did it 2 more times and won 2 more times.
You
4 out of
screwed poor
5.
Nesto out of his pick. That's what I know.
We'll get to that later, Nesto. Nesto, we have to talk, my friend. You sneaky son of a bitch. You almost got away with it.
Mikey had his thumb on the scale.
We will argue about all of that later.
All right.
Because I'm looking forward to it. But do you want to talk Murder Madness first? Because that's next week.
Yeah, Murder Madness. It's back.
Yes.
Try as she might, Cat
right?
couldn't kill it.
I love it this year because all of the work is mostly done and I didn't have to fight about shit. So
yeah,
best year of Murder Madness so far.
Yeah, the work is mostly done. We've gotta get it finished up, but it's mostly done already, which is maybe the earliest we've ever had a Murder Madness prepared. Honestly,
yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah. So we're gonna do. It's another movie tournament. Mm-hmm. Last year we did originals and remakes. And we had originals on one side of the bracket and we had remakes on the other. This year we are doing it by decade. We chose the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. The bracket is going to be broken up into 4 quadrants, 16 movies from each decade. And then the winners of those quadrants will meet in the finals.
I want everybody to know the word quadrant now annoys the shit out of me. Yes. So everybody knows. Yeah.
And I'm going to say it a lot over the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Right. I like that idea a lot. It's diverse. It breaks up a lot of different periods of the genre, and it gives them all a fair shake. We're going to have the images will be up on Twitter. You won't be able to see the bracket image until after the first episode. So you kind of have to picture this in your head a little bit. But if you're looking at the bracket, it'll be, visually, it'll be 70 left to right on the bracket, the left side on the top 70s, the top side on the right 80s.
Right. Top right quadrant 80s.
80s, right. And then bottom
lower
right
left
90s.
Quadrant.
I'm drunk. Yeah, lower left. Stop saying quadrant. Lower left will be 90s and the right side will be 2000s. The issue we ran into last year with splitting the bracket the way we did was, the older movies are really overpowering, and we have a good, I feel like we mastered it a little bit more this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it'll be split up a little bit, a lot more fairer of a chance for all the movies and all the times that they came out to go up against each other. So it's going to be really good. A lot of heavy hitters, all the heavy hitters in there, mostly.
Yeah, what we found is in trying to narrow it down to 16 movies from each decade, it's extremely difficult.
Very hard. Very hard. and also finding a mix of everything you guys want to hear about and some stuff that we think will be fun to have in there. Very difficult. So we're still workshopping it even now, week before it comes out. So trying to get the best list put in there together, but it's going to be a lot of fun. First round will be completely random. So that's going to be a bitch too. We're going to have 4 different fucking wheels. 4 wheels? That's scary.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, the wheels are dangerous and now they outnumber us. That doesn't seem safe.
That is
how
problem.
AI happens, people. This is it. Yep. You wanted it, you got it.
We might have to open up like security applications before we start Murder Madness. I'm concerned.
Right. Well, Chris,
hell of a deal.
It's your time, man. Come on. The first round is going to be, not to go through the whole thing, but just so people know what to expect. The first round is completely random, and the evil demonic wheel will decide the matchups, and from there it's bracket style, and they just go head to head until we get a winner. That'll be fun. Between this episode and the Murder Madness next week, our next episode, the Matthew Cote interview with Behavior that drops on the 12th. That'll be a little bonus episode in between that, just to get Murder Madness started, and a video of that will be up on YouTube. So you check that out. Okay. Honestly, too, I forgot to mention this to you guys, but I guess I'll say it and force myself to do it since it's on a show. I've been thinking about taking like certain segments of the show and maybe just putting them up on YouTube.
I've been wanting to suggest that, but I don't like, and I was going to offer to like render it and stuff. But because I know that's going to be the biggest issue with it, is that YouTube rendering time is just so slow. But yeah, I didn't know like how easy it would be to get access, and I didn't want to volunteer for it. I feel like it's a really solid idea.
Yeah, you give me the stuff to sign up for the YouTube account thing, and I'll fix our channel.
We already are signed up for YouTube accounts, you dick. We have like 800 subs.
I don't know how it fucking works. Do you need me to render anything?
No, don't touch anything.
That means.
No, it is a bit of a pain in the ass. And honestly, when I'm done editing, I don't want to look at anything. But, you know, like it really is, once everything's said and done, it is simple enough of a process. So,
you know what would be cool? You could put up every week the Gabagooli Mystery Corner on there, and you could just have the meme that we're talking about that week up on the screen while we're talking about it.
Well, see, I thought about that, and that kind of cuts into the patron thing a little bit, because that's what patrons get.
Oh,
and plus, it has nothing to do with horror. I'm not going to just put a racist Italian meme up on fucking YouTube and get us shut it down. All right.
I bet that would do really well on YouTube Shorts, though, because there are a lot of people on there making fun of Italians.
There are.
Yeah,
there are.
they're part of the problem.
Making fun of Italians on the internet, I've learned.
Part of the fucking problem. This horror show is just some reason makes fun of Italian people every week. I don't understand. It has nothing to do with nothing.
It's celebrating your culture, though. It's not making fun.
Yeah. Okay. But like maybe a news segment, certain spots on the during the discussion of the movie, maybe even reviews and facts just for fun. You know, people want to hear just quick little shits about, you know, their favorite movies. I was thinking about doing that. It won't be a tremendous amount of extra work the more I was thinking about it. So I'm gonna try and do that a little more regularly, especially the traffic we get when we talk Dead by Daylight and everything on there. Like, you guys have been great checking that out. Anyone checking out the show here from the Dead by Daylight stuff, maybe migrate a little bit to this feed as well too. Just saying, that helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
So at Slasher Radio on YouTube, or however they say their handles and shit. I'm old and drunk.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll sign us up for an account though.
Okay.
We have an account, but
you know. What? No.
Huh?
Cat, let him sit there and
okay. Oh yeah, you know what, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and get Slasher Radio, Rob. Do it till you're blue in the face.
Somebody already has it. I'm gonna have to report them.
That's if we got copies struck by Rob.
Can you imagine? I'd have to kill him at that point. I would just have to go all out, and it would be kill Rob time for sure. All right, we do have a voicemail. Drink roll call real quick. Do you guys have anything? We have a lot to get to.
Oh, yes. I have a Chris drink.
Okay.
Good Lord. Oh, you got that Thing. He bribed Cat to drink something gross.
He did. And are you ready for the best part?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. I drank it.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
I drank. Chris coined a drink. He coined the Butthole Blast, which I think was maybe supposed to be an homage to Rob at one point.
Mm-hmm.
It is gross. It's really, really gross. I thought it was gonna be good because it's like it's got a lot of fruit in there, but it is sweet. It is Baja Blast, simple syrup.
Yeah, because that's what Baja Blast needs is more sugar.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And rum, which I don't usually drink. I've had a lot of rum today. They were out of like the small bottles of Baja Blast, so I got a 2-liter of Baja Blast, which I regret because I do not drink this. So I kept drinking these. Because I after the first one, I quit drinking syrup in it. Not only the simple syrup, but I gave up on like the fruit and stuff also pretty early in. So essentially the last one was just Baja Blast and rum. And then I just followed it up with a shot of rum. But the issue is that I started during the movie, which I was watching like right before I came into this. And it's a movie that requires me to be really just like gone wasted to get through. So I was drinking pretty heavily tonight. So what I have now is actually rum and Dr. Pepper because I did run out of Baja Blast.
Chris, what are you doing? What was the Butthole Blast?
Yeah, the Butthole Blast.
He said a whole thing on Twitter about this, Mikey, about...
Yes, it is lime juice, simple syrup, rum, Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, raspberry, blackberry, mulled mint leaves. He and I had a little bit of back and forth because this is not the first Chris drink that I've had on the show. And I did I asked questions this time instead of just winging it the night of. He said that I could mull the raspberries and blackberries with the mint leaves if I so chose. But he did not seem on board with me just having raspberry and blackberry flavored syrups. They were not in season, so they're like the raspberries and blackberries were kind of bitter, which they were gross to eat, but it kind of helped undo some of the sweetness from the rest of this nightmare. Like a lot of Chris drinks, though, I do want to just like say this out in the open. The second one was a lot better than the first, and that fourth one was great.
Chris actually does a really good job making drink. I mean, that thing that he came up with, the what's he called? What was it called? The Lizard Man South Carolina Lizard Man. It's really good. Chris really does put together a nice drink when he wants to. He could also put together a torturous drink when he wants to, apparently.
This one was not my favorite because it is just too sweet. But the more drunk you are, the stronger it gets.
Yeah, I did see that back and forth. He was challenging us all to drink it and then be the first one to talk about it. I knew I wasn't going to drink that thing.
Well, I have.
Yeah, I've been doing really bad at Twitter lately. I've been very busy. Have I seen something about a drink and I meant to go back to it and I just haven't gotten there yet. But good job.
Mikey's way too busy to keep up with
Blast, Twitter. If you are interested in trying, Mikey.
I don't like Baja Blast, though, is the thing.
I also don't like Baja Blast. I think that was my biggest problem with this. I think if this had been, what is it? Mountain Dew does the, they do like that blue raspberry one, dark berry or whatever. I feel like if I'd had that instead of Baja Blast, it would have tremendously improved the experience for me.
I think you're both crazy. I like Baja Blast. I think it's good.
Yeah, no. It was supposed to be saying fuck Mountain Dew over the $500 Mogwai or whatever they were.
Oh yeah, I've been doing that, Mikey. Yeah.
Lion son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, fuck Mountain Dew.
That shit was years ago. I'm over it.
I'm still mad.
Why? They didn't get your money?
You're damn right they did.
I think that's why he's mad.
They didn't get my money.
You could have bought one.
I didn't get a Mogwai either because
you could have bought one.
They would have had I have a Mogwai right next to me right now, and it wasn't $500.
But it doesn't say Mountain Dew on it.
Thank God. Stupid. I'm just drinking 1800 tequila and some cranberry juice. That's all I got.
All right.
Made a little stronger than I intended, though. I will say that.
All right. I've been drinking this Red Stripe rum punch in a can again.
Huh.
Ooh.
Nice. I do still have I think one more of those, what was the name? Cutwater, the Mai Tai in a can. It's still in there. I am afraid to touch it. So I'll break it out one day. It's there, but I'm just really dancing around that thing right now because that thing did damage.
I feel like Cutwater should sponsor our show as much as we talk about them.
I feel like they should.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to Cutwater. I have a lot of fun trying out like new drinks and stuff and getting the spooky beers for the show or whatever. But I do miss the in a can days.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you know.
And look, Cutwater, most of the stuff that I've had from them has been good. The only one that wasn't
was
the Paloma, and I just think Paloma in a can's a disaster. That doesn't work.
All right, so good on you, Kat, for getting the butthole blast or whatever the hell.
I was on this one. It was a little bit more effort than I wanted to put into it because I had to pick up fresh produce, which is kind of a new experience for the show. But I had to go to the store anyway, so it wasn't like a second stop. It was not the end of the world.
Yeah, that was one of the big things for me too. I was like, that seems like a lot of like berries and shit to be like. I don't mind picking up a lemon or a lime here or there, but come on.
I'll eat raspberries and blackberries though. I didn't because I was lucky to find like the little small cartons of them. But I was prepared to if I had to. Not the most difficult drink. There's one that Chris has been suggesting. He's been wanting me to try forever on the show, but the issue is that it has absinthe in it, and that means like the smallest bottle of absinthe you can get, it's still like $40, and it's like I'm gonna have it for this one drink and then never again in my life.
Yeah,
you know,
it'll be right next to that bottle of Kahlua that you bought. 12 years ago.
Drink. I say it all the time, man. Drink Roll Call Graveyard is an entire drawer in my refrigerator. Dedicated, almost filled. Like it's got a lot of shit in there. So well, maybe one day they'll make a movie like Scream 6 and it'll be a museum of my Drink Roll Call Graveyard. Is my hope one day. We do have a text message to get to. 917-397-KILL.
Trace the call. It's coming from inside the house.
That's 917-397-5455. You can leave a voicemail or a text message for the show. We play the voicemails on here, and obviously text messages, we read them. I should get like an AI thing to read the text messages. So that'd be kind of funny. We'll discuss them and answer any questions you have about the show, genre, anything else that you want to mention. This one is, again, from Will the Thrill.
Thrill me.
And his text message reads, God damn it, it starts off, Namaste, motherfuckers. Will, why?
There you go, Will.
Hope you're all doing well. For this week, I have another question and a different game for you. The game is called the Ahab Protection Program. It's a cool name.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Ahab Protection Program, where I give you 3 notable horror Ahabs, Dr. Loomis type characters, and you will choose one to protect you and the other 2 to try and end you. Each characters can use whatever they have used in their retrospective films to protect you and come after you with. The characters are as follows: Dr. Loomis, Tommy Jarvis from part 6 of Friday the 13th, and Sidney Prescott.
Ooh.
I'm not picking Dr. Loomis.
Wait, which Dr. Loomis? No.
I think OG. Well, Will does love Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I think he means OG Dr. Loomis.
Let's not get stupid. There's one Dr. Loomis.
I had to ask.
I'm picking Dr. Loomis to protect me.
I'm leaning Dr. Loomis. Here's the thing is that and this is it's going to sound silly, but think about how badass Dr. Loomis was in Halloween 2. He's the only one that I feel would be an effective hunter of someone. Like Sydney, I feel would need to get pushed to that point, you know? I don't know how vengeful she is. I think she'd be good at protecting herself if someone were coming after the 2 of us, but I don't like my chances in that situation. Whereas like if she's opposing me, but I haven't really done anything to her, I think Dr. Loomis could maybe keep me going.
Dr. Loomis protected Lori through 2 movies. He protected Jamie through 2 movies, and he protected Paul Rudd and that other chick through a movie.
But all he did was yell at them.
Oh, he's mean.
No,
don't get me wrong. He's a mean old man, but he'll keep you alive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did. In every Halloween movie that he was in, he kept somebody alive, Mikey. The only person Sydney kept alive was herself. She didn't.
Yes.
She didn't keep anybody alive.
I wouldn't want Sydney to.
As a matter of fact, in 2, she was with that friend of hers, and she just left that girl to get killed.
I wouldn't want Sydney to protect me either. I think the answer here is Tommy Jarvis. He took down Jason Voorhees himself. Dr. Loomis never killed Michael Myers. I mean, Tommy didn't kill him either, but
he shot him 6 times. Dr. Loomis also got a gun.
I don't need Dr. Loomis to kill Michael Myers. I need him to kill Sidney Prescott.
Yep.
She's coming after me.
I don't think his old ass will do that either.
He's got a gun, Mikey.
Yeah, but he missed a lot of shots with that motherfucker too. I just don't trust him. All he's going to do is yell at me. I don't need that bullshit.
Here's the thing, is that I feel like this is a little bit of a disingenuous question. Just because they can use anything from the movies, like we're taking multiple movies for Sydney and Dr. Loomis. We can only take Tommy from 6, and I know that was specified in the rules, but I have a really tough time not thinking about Tommy Jarvis from 5, where I honestly think he's as likely to kill me as my protector as he is not. Like, it's hard looking at him from just that one movie and looking at the others across multiple films. Like,
not for me. They changed that character entirely in 6 for a reason, and Thom Matthews, friend of the show as well. So yeah, I'm going Tommy Jarvis all day. He took down Jason. Dr. Loomis just going to yell at me. He could whoop Dr. Loomis and Sydney's ass if he needed to.
No, Dr. Loomis got a gun.
Also, Tommy's kind of dumb. I hate to say
he's kind of dumb, but he'll whoop somebody's ass. He'll figure it out what he needs to. Dr. Loomis just
movie after movie after movie. Dr. Loomis protected somebody. You're crazy if you don't take him. His track record is unimpeachable. In every movie, he protects somebody.
And this is going specifically off of OG Dr. Loomis. Like, it's why I asked at the beginning, because I don't want Malcolm McDowell's crazy eyes trying to kill me.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell's Dr. Loomis wouldn't protect anybody anyway.
No, he would just not do it. He would quit.
And then write a book about your death.
Yes, I don't want him protecting.
But what did he really do in those movies? I stand by all the Halloween movies with what's her name, Jamie or whatever, didn't like.
Doesn't matter whether you like the movie or not. He protected her in all of those movies.
But what did he do? He just told her to run and stood there and screamed at Michael Myers and then shot him and ran away. That's all he fucking did.
She lived. That's all you need to do. If I hire you to protect me, all I need to do is live, and you have done your job.
I don't think I need an old man to tell me to run and then scream at somebody for me. If I would scream at somebody, I would do it myself.
Here's the thing, is that if I'm in a situation where, I guess not Michael Myers, if I'm in a situation where Tommy Jarvis is trying to kill me, and I need to be protected by Dr. Loomis, the situations are I can hide from Tommy Jarvis by myself, and also Sidney Prescott is there, or I can have an old man yelling and starting fires and like running around with a gun, shouting to run to distract those people while I run away. And I definitely prefer that option, you know? Like
he dropped a net on Michael Myers, a big chain net.
And he's got good timing, you know?
He shot him 6 times.
Like, I'm going to be protecting myself, too. I only need brought out of, like, those few situations where I'm not paying close enough attention or I get outnumbered and he's really good at those, like, spur of the moment timing situations.
Yeah, he'll sacrifice himself for you. At the end of Halloween 2, he blew himself up to save Laurie.
He's dedicated.
But that's the thing. Tommy Jarvis and Sidney Prescott aren't going to stand there and just let him yell and shoot at them. That's all Michael did, too. Michael Myers just stood there because he's Michael Myers and he could do that. And he can eat bullets, apparently. He'll get his ass whooped by Tommy Jarvis, period.
He'll get his ass shot by Dr. Loomis.
Maybe, if he doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss, round. Mikey.
He does miss.
No, he doesn't. Michael gets hit 6 times. He's just fucking Michael.
Yeah, but what about all those other times he just shot and missed and ran away? Or
he will do what it takes to protect you. Remember how he ran over Ben Tramer's ass?
I don't see Tommy Jarvis.
He will murder a child in a Halloween costume to save you, Mikey.
Tommy Jarvis isn't going to quietly walk towards someone with a gun. Dr. Loomis had it pretty easy with Michael Myers, who just knew he could eat shit until he got tired of it. I'm just saying.
Nah, you're wrong. That's a dumb choice, Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, Tommy Jarvis. So. I kind of see where you're coming from, because it's impressive that he did go against Jason. But first of all,
Jason.
He had a lot of help. And second of all, you keep saying take down Jason. Tommy Jarvis didn't kill shit.
He got him to the bottom of a lake. It would have killed it would have killed Michael Myers.
He came back for 5 more fucking movies, Mikey.
But he would have killed Michael Myers. Dr. Loomis never killed Michael Myers.
But we're not talking about having to kill Michael Myers.
But I'm just saying, if he could kill Jason, he could get Jason Voorhees down to the bottom of a lake, tie him up, wrestle him on a boat. I'm pretty sure he could do the same with Dr. Loomis's old ass and Sidney Prescott.
I also think that Tommy Jarvis and Sidney Prescott would not be a good team of killing people. Like, I think that Tommy Jarvis needed a lot of emotional support from like Meg or whatever her name was in 6 to kind of get shit done. She was not that she was helping actively, but I think a lot of it, like, there was a lot of morale going on, you know? She was rooting him on a lot.
She stood in the cabin with those kids. She didn't do nothing. I give her no credit.
I give her a lot of credit. I think he needs the motivation. And I think that Sidney is going to be detrimental to his self-esteem if they're coming after me as a pair.
Well, Will the Thrill gave his answer to this.
Thrill me.
Okay.
And he chose Sidney Prescott.
Bad choice.
That's the worst choice, Will. She ain't saved nobody in any of those goddamn movies.
Does he say why?
My choice is Sidney Prescott because she probably equal in hand-to-hand combat with Tommy Jarvis.
Debatable. Well, okay, from 6, yes.
He's got her in strength probably because like Don Matthews, big dude. But you know, I mean, Sidney whooped somebody's ass too, though. Sidney Prescott matched up with Tommy Jarvis in hand-to-hand combat. And she's Sidney Prescott, of course, she has a gun. That's fair,
Loomis.
too.
Yeah. I think that Sidney Prescott stole that line from Loomis in there somewhere. Yeah.
By the way, of these 3, I'm fucking Dr. Loomis.
I'm not going to go that far.
You can't fuck Dr. You'll break something on that poor old man. Leave him alone. You fuck Don Matthews, period. I mean, hello.
Nev Campbell, right?
Oh, well, yes. Sure. And he said he doesn't remember seeing Tommy use a gun other than in Friday the 13th, the game. That's true. I never understood why they gave him a gun in that game.
Yeah, I don't either, because he didn't use a gun.
He didn't have a gun.
Mm-mm.
Shotgun, very overrated in the Friday game, too.
Yeah. And I will say, too, I talking, you know, in this game, I picked Dr. Loomis. I love all 3 of these characters. I think they're 3 great characters.
Yes.
And Tom Matthews is my Tommy Jarvis. He is in my mind when I think of Tommy Jarvis. He's the official Tommy Jarvis to me.
Hands down. Easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this game specifically, I do think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I feel like it's Dr. Loomis. Movie after movie, I've seen him protect people. Why would I not pick him? I mean, yes, he might use your ass as bait for a little bit, but he'll make sure you get out of there all right.
To end off, Will said, my question for you is why you believe Halloween 6 is the worst film in the franchise. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I would argue that Halloween 5 is arguably the worst. 5 is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worse than 6.
It's 1, insulting the character of Jamie Lloyd. It's insulting the character of Dr. Loomis, even though his actions in this movie were justified in my opinion. The worst and all insulting was to the character of Michael Myers. And to be fair, Halloween 6 had to work with all the bullshit Halloween 5 had left behind for it. The Man in Black, the Thorn Tattoo, etc. That's all I got. Much love. And much love. And there's a storm coming, and it smells like EyeRChris. P.S. Sorry for the lengthy text. You're good, Will.
No, that was way too long, Will. Keep them shorter next time, please.
No, you're good.
I will say this. 5 and 6 are bad. Neither one's as bad as Resurrection.
Okay. That's not true.
That's not true.
There's that Resurrection is the worst of the franchise, Will.
Don't make me hit my button.
You talk about insulting to Michael Myers. Having him lose a kung fu fight to fucking Busta Rhymes is insulting. Having Busta Rhymes yell at him and tell him to go in the other room and he does it is insulting.
He had him where he wanted him. Leave Resurrection alone. He wasn't even talking about Resurrection.
The movie's fucking stupid. He said the worst in the franchise. I'm telling him I don't think 6 is the worst in the franchise.
Okay, but 6 is the worst in the franchise. I understand where you're coming from, Will, a little bit with 5. The thing about 5 is that it's a better movie. Like, it's better constructed than 6. First of all, and it does introduce a lot of the problems that I have in 6. My issue with 6 is that they chose to double down. Like, I kind of understand from a writing standpoint. Like, I'm a writer, and if someone was like, here, write the script to, the 6th movie of a horror franchise, I understand going back to the previous one to see what they were working with, but I wouldn't look at the any of the cult aspects and be like, yes, this is what I want to double down on for this. Like, I would just ignore it. And Halloween has a precedent already by 6 of ignoring other plot lines. Like, they did not have to continue this. They could have done anything else that they wanted to do, and they made their bed.
I do think that you're right, kind of. I think that had they not answered the question of who the Man in Black was, people would have been pissed. They had to come up with an answer, but at their disposal were all the possibilities in the world of who the Man in Black is. And what they picked to do was stupid.
What they picked to do was stupid. They executed it poorly. I think they chose a bad idea. Like, I still wouldn't have answered it. And I would have been like, that's just one of those things. I think if they had not picked up that plot line, they would have been in a lot of trouble at the time. But fans looking back today would look back at Halloween 6 and be like, yes, this was the right call. Like, it would have held up better. And I believe that.
There are things about 6 that I like. I like the shock jock stuff and everything. I think that's fun.
I like the casting of Paul Rudd, and that's about all I can say. I like
the radio show guy. He's coming to Haddonfield and stuff. Like, I think all of that's kind of fun. 5, see, they're very close to me because 5 I just really don't enjoy. There's just something about 5 that I really just don't enjoy.
I do want to also point to just to like re-hit that point that you made, Rob, though.
Mm-hmm.
Once they decided to double down, I think you're right. They did a bad job. Like, they had all the options.
Yeah, they literally could have made the Man in Black anything, right? Like, they didn't have to go the cult route. They went that route, and it was a bad decision.
It's just bad choice after bad choice, and then poor execution, whereas 5 was just like a bad choice.
Yeah. I mean, I will say about 6, when people talk about 6, you have to say, which cut are you talking about? Which is never a good sign for a movie.
Also, they're both bad. I was tricked recently into finally watching the longer cut of 6 because people convinced me it was better, and it's not.
It is better. It's better than the other cut, but it's still not a good movie.
It is better than the other cut, but it's not better enough to make a difference.
No, yeah, it's still a bad movie. Yeah,
I still put it below Resurrection.
No, Resurrection is the worst.
My problem is I haven't seen either of them in a long time because I really, really don't enjoy them. I would have to rewatch them because like they're just both awful to me.
Maybe the rewatch will get you, Mikey.
That's the thing. I don't want to rewatch either of these movies.
Yeah, and Will mentions in his thing, he talks about how 5 is disrespectful to Jamie, and I get that. And there's some weird shit in 5 that doesn't make sense. How Jamie and Michael have like some weird psychic connection, which is just fucking dumb. Like, I don't know why they put that in there. They've got the thing with the cops where it plays like the goofy music when the cops come on. It's fucking stupid. We don't need that. But I don't mind what they do with Dr. Loomis, because Dr. Loomis seems to be getting progressively crazier as the franchise goes on anyway. And 5 is probably him at his craziest, where he's just like literally torturing a little girl and stuff.
Which I really appreciate. I don't want to say that I appreciate what they did with Dr. Loomis necessarily, but I agree with that sentiment, Rob. Like, he had such a chaotic energy so early on in that franchise that the fact that they found a way to add to like up those stakes in 5, even if it's not my favorite Dr. Loomis, I kind of have to respect that they did that, you know?
Yeah, the craziness of Dr. Loomis in 5 is almost a feature and not a bug, in my opinion. Like, I kind of appreciate that. There's a lot of other dumb shit in 5 I don't like.
Yeah. It's just hard for me to sit and watch these fucking movies. Honestly, they're really bad. And that's the other thing too. It's Halloween. You can watch so many really good movies if you want to watch a Halloween movie.
Yeah, you could watch Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, or Halloween Ends.
No, not Season of the Witch. No,
it's a great French.
Hashtag French.
That's an annoying thing from the Patreon show that you ball buster.
We're gonna make it happen, guys. We're changing the horror lexicon.
Also, good example of stuff that could be put up on the YouTube. Good conversation, good question, a lot of fun. So
really good.
Down there. Yeah.
Also, I'm not gonna horror court random people on Twitter, because then the show would be nothing but horror court. But I am going to air a grievance of some random person on Twitter. Someone is doing, I don't want to call it a bracket because they're calling it a bracket, but it's more of like a series of polls that they're doing. Maybe it's a bracket like in the spreadsheet that they have laid out, but for me it's just been a series of polls because that's all I've seen. But they're polling like the best horror sequels over on Twitter, and so someone voted through H2O, which was
H2O's good. Yeah,
that's a bad choice.
I agree with that. No, it's
and
not.
it went up against Exorcist 3, which is how I realized that it made it onto like their little bracket. And I was so baffled by that matchup. But then Exorcist 3 won, and people were surprised that H2O didn't make it through. Like, there were a bunch of people in the comments that were like rallying behind H2O, and it's like, what is this?
H2O
of all the Halloween
movie.
Because unless I misunderstood the bracket, I think they're only taking like one sequel from each franchise. So
and
it was like
H2O.
How did H2O even make it onto this bracket?
Yeah.
You know?
That's weird. The only good part of H2O is the open where what's his name? Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets this fucking skate in the head. That's amazing.
You guys hating on a great movie. Shame on
It's not a great movie, Mikey.
It's a great movie.
It's not one of the best horror sequels of all time. It's not one of the best horror sequels in that franchise.
French.
It's up there.
French. Sorry, French.
It's up there.
Hashtag
H2O was a really good movie.
Mm.
And
It's
better
not
than
up
Exorcist
there.
3, too. Zero question there. I mean, Exorcist 3 was terrible.
I don't know that it is better than
It,
Exorcist.
I think, is.
Oh,
Kat.
Is
I
it?
do,
easily.
I think Exorcist 3 is terrible. I haven't watched it in a long time, and this is something that I've been saying I need to rewatch because I got into an argument with people about Exorcist Believer. I said it's better than 3, and a lot of people got mad. But yeah, I just don't remember The Exorcist 3 as being a very good movie.
I don't remember it as being great, but I remember it. Well, of course. Okay. Here's the thing: is that in Halloween, I feel like there are other good.
Oh, that's
installations
ridiculous.
to like compare it to. So maybe I was a little bit swayed by that. I feel like in The Exorcist as a French, there are not a lot of it just feels like a really solid entry compared to the others, whereas H2O is not that.
No, H2O is a mid Halloween sequel.
H2O is great.
No,
Give H2O at 6.4. That's upper mid.
H2O runs in the mid of the middle, right in the middle of the French.
No, it doesn't. It's better than 3. I can tell you that hell of a lot.
I'll tell you it's not.
Wow.
1,000,000%.
Let's not get crazy.
Do I have to bust out the rankings again? Do we have to go through this again?
Please do not.
Many supplements on the market are hard to absorb or packed with fillers, but that's not the case with Quicksilver Scientific. Quicksilver Scientific is a U.S.-based company that manufactures advanced liposomal supplements, making nutrients easier for your body to absorb and put to work quickly. Made in Colorado in an NSF GMP-certified facility and rigorously tested, this is science-first supplementation. After adding ultravitamin into my routine, recovery feels faster, and I don't hit that midday crash anymore. Trusted worldwide for supplements that truly make a difference in performance, resilience, and well-being. Quicksilver Scientific makes advanced liposomal supplements so you can actually feel the difference. Energy, focus, calm, recovery. Get 10% off plus free shipping at tryqs.com/podcast. That's tryqs.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
As we wrap up 2025, one thing's clear. Uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Noble Gold Investments helps Americans protect what they've built with real gold and silver, holding value when everything else feels uncertain. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com and take your first step toward a safe future. This holiday season, when you open up a qualified account, you'll receive 10 1-ounce commemorative silver holiday coins. Visit Noble Gold today. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
All right, we're actually going to do horror news because we haven't done that in a while, and there is some newsworthy shit to talk about. First things first. The Crow. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. They released an image. I mean, just look on Twitter, Google it maybe if you don't have Twitter.
Just open Twitter up and it'll be there waiting for
you.
You'll either see the image or some meme based on the image.
Yeah. This thing's awful. It looks ridiculous. I don't know.
It looks like Jared Leto's Joker, but wet.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. Like, I kept seeing the image, but I was kind of like, I was at work and I was kind of scrolling on my phone and kind of half paying attention. And I kept seeing this image and I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And then finally, Kat was the one who was like, I think that's the first image of the new Crow. And I just laughed. Like,
yeah, I sent it in and Rob was like, without any context, I just like sent this in to the group chat and Rob was asking why he had seen it all day. And Mikey's reaction killed me because he was just like, please tell me this has nothing to do with the Crow.
I didn't see it at that point yet. But I knew what it was. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There's no goddamn way. And lo and behold, if you're going to do it, why would you buy the rights to something and do this with it? Why?
Look, from my standpoint, this is all just hilarious. I have no love for The Crow as a movie. I don't care about it one way or another. And I'm not even 100% certain it qualifies as a horror movie. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I do find it funny.
Do you guys like horror movies? Nothing qualifies as a horror movie. What the hell? The Crow?
Mikey, I don't want to hear it this week.
There's another one you guys are wrong about. Point in the case exactly. How is The Crow not a horror movie?
It's not. It's like a comic book action movie.
Yeah.
A lot of horror comes from comics for a long time.
But it's an action movie, Mikey.
Because at the time, I can see this being one of those things, and this is how I treat it. There are a lot of horror movies that are horror when they come out that kind of age out of the genre. They're just kind of grandfathered in. This was a horror comic book movie, I think, at the time that it came out, but now we're more accustomed to seeing scarier comic adaptations. Like this, The Crow, when it came out, is really not that much grittier than like any DC movie you want to like throw a dart at, right? Yeah. Like and that's kind of where we're at with action movies currently in the comic book genre. So I see where Rob's coming from. I would consider this a horror movie though, because I do think it was grandfathered in.
I understand why horror fans gravitate towards it because it's got that goth imagery and everything, and the Crow looks all, with the fucking face paint and all that bullshit. But this is not a horror movie, and I don't give a fuck about it. Even if I were to call it a horror movie, I don't think it's that good. So, whatever. If they want to make a shitty remake of it, fine.
I hate it. I hate it so much. We haven't gotten a good movie since the original, and like, honestly, just let the franchise rest, man, if you're going to do shit like this, dude. Like, it's a joke. You have people, you spend all that money on rights and all this money to make a movie and all this effort you put in. I'm sure people worked hard, but now you get made fun of. Like, why? What would make you think this is a good idea? Why? It's really fucking annoying.
The casting, we've got to talk about the casting because it's very easy to pick. I was just talking about the Skarsgård. I don't know who else is in it. But it's very easy to just like look at the design and make the Joker comparison or the, like emo 2000s kid comparisons. And I get it, but Brandon Lee was such an icon He was the best part of The Crow. I think that a lot of the sequels were kind of disrespectful in that regard. I think it's why they're not favored kindly. To remake it and then cast Skarsgård, I think was just a wild choice from the get-go. I don't think that there's anything they could have done with costuming that would have gotten me on board with this casting decision.
It's awful. Absolutely awful. The next thing is just something quick to mention. The trailer drop for The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I honestly don't think I've seen the full trailer yet. I started watching it like 2 or 3 times, and I just haven't been able to finish through it.
That's good. It's that good, huh?
Riveting.
No, it was just
bodes well for the movie.
Honestly, stupid times of me trying to watch it and then just me forgetting, honestly.
I didn't even know it came out. I haven't seen it.
But it doesn't matter. Like with a movie like this, with most movies, but especially with something like this, I don't care what you do in the trailer. Like you have to execute certain things in the movie and throughout the movie for it to be good. So the trailer, it's good that it's out, but I don't care what it does.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better than the original.
God damn it. There's no way it's better than the original.
There's no way it's better than the original. I'll say that too. I saw the poster. A lot of people were talking about the trailer. I had no strong feelings. I didn't watch the full thing. I watched like the 15-second teaser version or whatever, and it looked fine. The poster really irritated the shit out of me because they have this like really hyper artistic, like very polished kind of design, and it's like I'm tired of seeing that for this franchise, like that's not what The Strangers was built on, as a style choice. I'm not a huge fan.
But that's what's going to happen, though. It
I
happened
know.
with Friday. It happened with Nightmare.
For it, I guess. But
you put money behind something, they're going to try and make money on it. That's just the way to land. I just want it to be good really bad. And there's a lot of ways to fuck up. The movie was so simple, and there's a lot of ways to fuck it up. And it is hard to nail that simplicity, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah. Doug Bradley did an interview recently where he said he would love to play an older, darker Pinhead in a Scarlet Gospels movie.
Yes. So the thing with Scarlet Gospels, I don't know how familiar you guys are. I'm going to assume not very.
I was going to ask you what the fuck it is.
Okay, Scarlet Gospels is the sequel. It's the book sequel to A Hellbound Heart. And this is a controversial book take from Kat today. I loved the Scarlet Gospel. A lot of people did not like it because they felt it was very extreme and over the top and just kind of gratuitous for gratuity's sake. It was kind of Clive Barker's response to the direction that the movie franchise had taken, because Hellbound Heart was like this very poetic horror novella that got turned into another slasher franchise in the 80s. And he felt like they were taking it in kind of a direction he wasn't super happy with. That became increasingly true as we got more movie sequels. And there were a lot of like critics and people in the media that were just like really misinterpreting what the point of his work was. So he wrote a book called The Scarlet Gospels. That's a sequel to The Hellbound Heart that is just really insanely over the top as kind of a satirical twist on what he felt his work had become. It was kind of a response to that. It's very angry and very bitter. And I would love to see Doug Bradley in a movie adaptation of this.
I'm sorry, did Clive Barker not set the table for that franchise when he wrote and directed the first movie?
I don't think he had a problem with the first movie, but you have to admit that the franchise got out of control really quick.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It got out of control.
It's a bad franchise. I don't like it.
Stop saying French. God damn it.
We're going to make it happen, Mikey. Franchise is happening.
Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, Doug Bradley, Pinhead. Yes.
Yeah.
Period. Nothing else
really,
to say.
Really
yeah.
on board.
What about, I kind of like the chicken, Hulu Raiser.
I also
I'm not
like
calling it Hulu Raiser.
Is that not what it's called?
Is it? I haven't heard that yet, and I don't like it. I know.
Yeah. Let's get another Hulu Raiser movie. We don't. Let's go
I
in
like
that
that too. I mean, I didn't hate it, but Doug Bradley Pinhead, yes. That's the way that goes, right?
Right. But I mean, Doug Bradley was Pinhead in a lot of those bad sequels.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, that's not his fault. And I really want to see a trend. We're getting into some dangerous territory, I think, where we're starting to remake a bunch of like 90s and early 2000s movies. And just the constant remakes and really shitty sequel movies that are like picked up from out of studio from new people that don't care about the IPs for the franchise. It just I would love to see a trend start where we go back to adapting book sequels for horror movies, because that's something that we get in dystopian films, we get it for sci-fi movies, we get it for fantasy films. We get it for rom-coms. I think it's insane that horror movies don't get adapted from horror sequels, like almost ever. I would love to see that start. And I'd love to see it start with Clive Barker. I'd be a lot more interested in this than I would be in the American Psycho remake. I hate that we're doing that.
That I agree with. Yeah, we don't need any more. I mean, something new would be fun and interesting.
Brent Easton Ellis has other books, for instance. Like,
yeah, but unfortunately, they're not any good.
But that's not true.
He's not a good writer.
Oh, well, I've only read the one, so.
In my humble opinion, which isn't very humble, he is not a good writer.
Okay, and then the other thing, because we actually nominated earlier this year, we nominated Mayfly for Slashy, which is a book that is set in contemporary America. It was a feminist response to American Psycho. I don't think the book was necessarily the best thing I've ever read, but I think it would be an interesting alternative to just remaking that same movie over again.
But wasn't American Psycho 2 a feminist response to American Psycho?
Yes, I think that's where the idea for Mayfly probably came from. And honestly, American Psycho 2 might have done it a little bit better. But like, if you're looking for a contemporary, retelling of that, I would love to see something that was actually written for this time,
Yeah. No, and look, the point is, stop with the fucking remakes already. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch your shitty remake.
We've got Twisters and Arachnophobia and American Psycho coming out this year. And it's like, what decade is this?
And apparently 3 new Strangers movies coming.
3 new Stranger movies.
Well, I still stand on the side of Doug Bradley. Yes.
The box.
The last thing I want to talk about, and this is big. Jason Blum made a lot of waves over the last week or so, depending on when I forget when this is. Thursday's coming out, so about the last week or so by the time you're hearing this. He wants the Friday the 13th franchise to become part of the Blumhouse family. Did an interview with Collider, I believe, and he said that Friday the 13th is not a Blumhouse project, but I'm trying to will it into being one. It's just a piece of IP I've always loved. And he continued to say, James Wan and Atomic Monster are very passionate about it, and I think we would have them shepherd it for us. It would be a lot of fun. Okay.
So this is not the first time Jason Blum said that he wanted the Friday the 13th rights. He's talked about this for a long time.
Right.
This is the first time he's mentioned James Wan being involved, however, and that makes me not happy.
Saw.
The Conjuring. But Dead Silence or whatever the fuck.
Saw, not a Friday the 13th movie.
No, here's the thing is that I think James Wan is hit or miss, and I'm being kind of generous on what I count as hits. But the thing is that Friday is at a point where I think any content is maybe better than listen. I hate saying it because I think there are times to let franchises die, but I really do not like the last Friday movie that we got. That feels like a really sour note for me. I don't think it's going to be worse than the remake, and I just believe that. I believe they could do a lot of damage before it was worse than that remake.
Do we
and it
need
might
to go
be better
through James Wan's horror filmography?
No, I don't
because
think we do.
It's
I think
not
we remember.
good. It is not good, guys. We start with Saw, fine, good movie.
Great movie.
And then we get Dead Silence.
Bad movie.
We get Insidious.
Okay.
We get The Conjuring.
Yeah.
We get Insidious Chapter 2.
Yeah.
We get The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
And then we get Malignant.
Yeah.
So I'm not real sure he's going to be able to do Friday the 13th well. Now, I will say, it does say that James Wan and Atomic Monster doesn't mean that James Wan's going to direct it. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just going to serve as a producer and they'll find somebody who can make it.
And I think he's produced some good stuff.
That I would be much happier with. I would like it if it was just a Blumhouse movie, though.
Yeah.
And Blumhouse also feels kind of hit or miss to me.
They are hit or miss, but I put faith in them because of Halloween 2018 and the job they did with that.
I was going to say, I feel like Blumhouse is the redeeming thing about this for me is that I feel like they're really passionate about IPs that they pick up.
I think they're passionate about all. Well, obviously it goes without saying. I know you think that as well, but they're a lot. They take Halloween. They take a lot less chances with their IP. Exorcist, Believer. They didn't really go too far outside of that Exorcist box for it. Halloween as well with 18, and even with Kills to a degree. They expanded on it a little bit, but they didn't really do anything drastic. End's a different story. But they know what they're handling to a degree. And I think they know the weight of Friday the 13th. I do not think Friday the 13th can survive another bad movie.
But we haven't had a Friday the 13th movie since the remake in 2009?
2009. Mm-hmm. I don't think it has to be a bad movie would be terrible, obviously, but right. it just has to beat the bar of 2009 to be a better end than 2009.
Also, we haven't had a movie in 15 years. You don't have to think outside the box for this next movie. Just give us Friday the 13th and we'll be happy.
Yeah, I feel like it's the time. It's a solid studio for it. It's a low bar for them to clear.
I think it's got to be good. Because now with this, whatever's going on with that lawsuit, things got to be split even more so than things are split when making a movie normally. Right. So, and we don't know how that split's happening, but it has to be successful. Financially, and it will be because it's Friday the 13th.
Right. And also don't forget that this is I think more Jason Blum talking out loud than it is anything that's even close to being a done deal or whatever. And two, even if this were happening, it's not going to be the next Friday thing we get. That TV show is coming.
Being worked on actively and has been. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's also true. And maybe that'll bring the bar up and I'll feel differently about this, if it ever comes to fruition. But right now, really low bar.
But that thing's a prequel and they can get away with that not being. If you have Jason Voorhees on a screen as we know him, it's got to be good, man. People have waited this long, and if they get shit, it's going to be forget about financially, it would be a disaster too. Because of the way things would have to be split and all that. And then people, even we're talking to Matthew Cote again next week. He's even said in the past that they just don't even want to get into the Friday the 13th thing because of the legalities of it. And it's just too much to deal with. People stay away from it because of that. There's talk about big companies. They don't need the bullshit. They can go pick up something else and make their money, so that's a nightmare in itself. But even fan perception, they're just not going to keep waiting forever. And especially if they wait forever and they finally get it and it sucks, there's a lot. Blumhouse needs to land this. I mean, they don't need to, sure, but that's its safest bet is for them to have it. And I really hope it ends up happening.
And then, and when they do, or if they do, you don't have to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just give me Jason in the woods murdering people.
Yes.
You don't need to do anything special.
That's it. That's literally all you gotta fucking do, man. And they keep doing crazy shit with it. They just won't fucking put them in the woods again. And make it snow too. Wouldn't hurt either, people.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say I wouldn't mind having a Friday the 13th remake that's like an actual remake of the first one and not whatever they pulled in 2009. But I don't want Blumhouse to do that.
It'll never. That's never going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen, but I want it.
For marketing, they want that hockey mask on the poster.
Especially now. I agree with Kat though. It'd be nice.
No, it would be great, but it's never going to happen.
I say it all the time, but this is one of those situations where instead of remaking the things that were already working in the franchise, it just makes so much more sense to go back to that first one and make Pamela Voorhees a character so that it's never going to work as a whodunit because we all know who it is at this point, but like telling that story better where it failed would be,
maybe you make it as a whodunit and you twist everybody up and it turns out it's Jason's dad.
Yeah.
People would be mad to lose Pamela, though. I would be.
You used to have Pamela in the movie. She's just not the one killing people. She's the ultimate red herring for that movie.
There you go. That's fair. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. That's fair.
But that would be I know I give a lot of flack to remakes sometimes, but this is one instance where they kind of screwed up a little bit in the original. There is one big thing that could be fixed. And I feel bad sometimes calling 2009 a remake because it remade so much. It did too much.
Yeah. And the reason they did that in 2009 was because they wanted the hockey mask.
Yeah.
You need it. Yeah, you need it. People aren't going to wait, man. They don't. If they hear Friday the 13th, they want Jason. And if you tell, first of all, you have to tell them. If people go into that movie and don't see Jason, the fucking holy shit. So you have to tell them. And you're going to lose a lot of people who aren't even going to go fucking see it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of trapped in a corner there with that. But it needs to be. Scream came back. Texas Chainsaw tried to come back. We talked about Hulu Razor, apparently. You've got so many things coming back, man. Fucking Jason is arguably the king of them all. Public perception of horror. That hockey mask is it. And he's nowhere to be found. It's the easiest fucking movie to make out of all of them.
You said Texas Chainsaw tried to come back. I believe I read somewhere that Netflix is looking at another Texas Chainsaw movie.
Yeah.
Netflix needs to leave Texas Chainsaw Massacre alone.
Yeah. Just saying.
That's all. Yeah. Well, it's back, unfortunately. But.
Yeah. I believe later this year we get Alien coming back too.
Alien's always come
You know what?
back.
I'm actually looking forward to Alien.
Predator 2. Predator 2 came back recently also.
Yeah.
Nightmare fucking, that's a whole nother thing.
But I don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. But Friday, man, is just that for Blumhouse to get it. Oh, that'd be perfect. But we'll see. We will see. Also, Jason Blum, come talk to us, man. What the hell?
Yeah. We don't have anyone trying to fight you at the moment.
Yeah, our beef is over. You can come on the show.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Do I gotta hit my dumbass button?
Please hit the button.
The only thing that makes me happy throughout this stupid segment.
Get the fuck out of here! You! Go ahead, go back to turning tricks in Hoboken, you pain in the ass!
Yes, the Gabagoli Mystery Corner, Tricks in Hoboken. This is where our listeners anonymously send in Italian memes making fun of me for being Italian. New listeners, there's no horror tie in here. They're just shitheads and they do this. The memes go up on Patreon. We try our best to describe them on the show. See what this says. What the hell? All right. The overworked investigators of the Gabagoli Pasta Crimes Division. It's some girl sitting in front of like some kind of chemistry.
It's the Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very viral Willy Wonka experience thing. It's why I sent it in this week. It felt very topical.
Yeah,
it was the Fire Festival of kids activities. Like they were promised a bunch of stuff, and then they got there, and it was like a bunch of pasted up. It was a bunch of pasted up posters, and this. There was like one woman in an Oompa Loompa costume with a chemistry set who ran out of jelly beans super early into the day.
Is it a Oompa Loompa costume, or she just got a green wig on and a brown shirt? Like I don't see.
That's supposed to be an Oompa Loompa
It's
costume.
supposed to be an Oompa Loompa costume.
They just gave her green hair.
Yeah, apparently when they did the advertising for this, they used AI to create these amazing images that looked like it was going to be this fantastic Willy Wonka experience. And then when you got there, it was this.
This looks like how to make a meth.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
My favorite, they also created a villain because they had an AI generated script that kept going on about an evil chocolate maker that lived in the walls, called the Unknown. And so then they dressed up a guy in an unknown costume to just hop out of places and scare kids.
All right. Maybe this would have hit better if I knew what it was. This is my first time seeing this. It was questionable regardless, though. Yeah, I don't like this. But this is a play, obviously, on the Oompa Loompas who are investigating the pasta fleshlight situation. By the way, that guy, I looked into that guy a little bit. He's like super popular. He's got a ton of followers. I haven't tried, but I don't think he's going to come talk to us. So I will also mention this to you guys. I did consider watching, because EyeRChris, we're not crazy here, people. I got to give a little context here because this is terrible.
Where this is going.
Even with the tequila, like I'm starting to realize how terrible this all sounds. We got a meme about pasta fleshlights however long ago on the show. I'm sure you can understand the tie-in to make fun of Italians with that. But EyeRChris, I'm not near my EyeRChris button. EyeRChris,
hell of a deal,
found the origins of it. Apparently, like it was, the meme was just a bunch of fleshlights with pasta in front of them lined up on a table. There was a dude on Pornhub, or I don't remember what the porn website was, who was like, he actually tested them out. He went and fucked all these pastas, these fleshlights filled with pasta. And I was telling someone about it. I think it was Huff, Rob. I still had the tweet open later on, and I was like, if I'm holding an investigation like this, kind of has to be watched. I just haven't found anybody who are willing to watch it with me because I'm not going to do it alone. So it stalled slightly.
Can you imagine being Mikey's friend and being like constantly asked to watch horror movies for the show, and then one day it's just like, so the horror movie this week.
It is horrible.
It's a 45-minute video of a man fucking pasta, and you're like, what?
Rob's gonna come into Discord one night. We're gonna be about halfway through the pasta fucking extravaganza.
You'll see me just exit out of there.
If you walk in on it, first of all, if I have to watch it and I find someone to watch it with me, I feel like you have to watch that with us. Right?
I'm not watching that fucking thing.
I
don't give a shit who made the meme, Mikey.
God damn it. But yeah, I considered it, refused to watch it alone, even for the bit, and I haven't found anybody who fucking watched the goddamn thing with me. So it's stalled drastically here, indefinitely even.
Huff won't watch it with you?
I think he was. I don't know if I asked him or Cressy, but Cressy noped the fuck out of that conversation pretty quick.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like Cressy's style.
No. Yeah, so stalled on that. But that's the play on this, because the Oompa Loompas are involved with, the investigation. There was I explained last time, there was something had happened, and there was a fire and all kinds of shit happened in the Oompa Loompa little lair that they have. So the data mining has, everything's just been stalled a little bit, but,
And we have a picture of that fire now.
Yeah, this is how it happened, I guess. Yeah. Good play on that, I guess, but I just don't get the meaning.
It's a good play on that, and it's timely because that photo has been going around the internet too. So well done.
It is really timely. I'm sorry that you hadn't seen that, Mikey, because I think that would have made it better. This has been one of my favorites for a while.
Yeah, it's a real fun story.
It might have drove it home a little bit. That's fair.
Also, definitely, if you get the chance, watch the interview with some of those parents.
I imagine they were pissed.
People were pissed. Yeah. It was $40 to get in, and then they will walk you through in like 12 minutes or 2 minutes to look at their posters and get a jelly bean from the meth Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, she looks
high.
Who
then ran out of jelly beans.
Who then ran out of jelly beans.
She looks high as shit and miserable, that lady. Good Lord.
That's what anyone would look like after the investigation.
Yeah, looks like me on a Monday, about halfway through the day, just fucking done and green hair. All right. That's it for news. That's it for making fun of us poor Italian people. We'll be right back with the Patreon pick for this week, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right, Patreon pick every month, 1 week out of the month, the end of the month. Our patrons get to nominate and vote on our movie topic for the week. And Rob doesn't know how to work the Patreon, so we go through all the nominations, what didn't make it, and all that stuff. The first one is from Leah. I need a Leah button.
Well, with that, like the most annoying button ever?
Wow.
No, that would be this one.
It's called Ooze.
Leah put up Curse of... what the hell is that? Leah, where'd you find that? Curse of Where Halula? Have you guys ever heard of 2021?
I watch it.
What? You don't even know what it is. You watch it?
Probably more of a horror movie than what we ended up watching, so.
Definitely.
We'll get to it shortly. The next was from Will the Thrill, and it was The Intruder from 1989. I haven't seen this.
I haven't either.
The next one is from Tasha. I always forget which button.
Dirty Potato Thief.
This one?
I drank a beer.
Nope.
Oh. Well, maybe she drinks beer. I don't know.
Okay, this is from Tasha. Burial Grounds from 1981. I haven't seen this in a long time.
I've never seen it either. I've heard good things about it, but never seen it.
Yeah. Tasha did put a little sidebar in her pick. And it was, even though I feel like there's no need to nominate anything else with some options like those. And she put a pointing down emoji and a fire emoji.
All right.
And it's these EyeRChris. Oops.
Hell of a deal.
With the sadness captioned, Rob dies tonight.
Wow. All right, Chris. See, and I think you need to use his full name, Mikey, which is 2-time Slasher Radio Hall of Fame runner-up, EyeRChris.
Oh.
Rob.
I was opening my mouth to say I wish that Chris had won, but now I doubly wish that Chris had won this. For the sadness, and also because I believe you deserve to watch the sadness for that comment. That was uncalled for.
It's not my fault. It's out of my hands.
Also, Rob, the sadness is more of a horror movie than this. You have to give it that.
More of a horror movie than this. I don't know that I would enjoy watching it any more than this, but it is at least a horror movie.
It is a horror movie.
We'll get to it shortly. Leah also threw on there, is that a subtitle or a wish? Damn. Wow.
Damn it, Leah.
Good job, Leah.
And the last nomination that didn't make it, Nesto. You dirty, dirty bastard, you.
Nesto, I was rooting for you.
I was too, Nesto.
Nesto put up The Killing Tree. Very storied from the lore of the show, I guess you could call it.
You will watch that movie.
Yeah. He threatened me with that. And he put a little caption in there that said, Happy belated Valentine's, Mikey. And this has been hanging over my head since Nesto first put this up. And it wasn't even this last Christmas. It was the Christmas before this last Christmas.
It's been around for a while now. The beauty of it not winning is it's still hanging over your head.
I lose either way here, right?
It is a good perk.
But he took the shot. And I get the notifications on my phone. So when I put it up, I get I tweeted it. So I was tagged in the tweet from the show page, and I tweeted it that the nominations are open. And 1 minute later, Nesto replied with
Nesto.
the killing tree. 1 minute later, he was been waiting all month for this.
I was hoping for you.
And he took a shot and it barely missed. This week was a tie. This month rather was a tie with Greg's pick. This was Greg that had put up the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Kick him in the dick.
And this is the first time we had a tie before. It tied with Nesto's Killing Tree.
And then we were sort of like, well, what do we do?
Yeah. So we ended up spinning the wheel. There were witnesses. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, Mikey cheated totally, but
we saw it.
We did see Mikey cheat. So it was.
I don't know how the hell you guys are blaming that wheel on me all of a sudden. We all know that wheel's the son of a bitch. How am I getting blamed for the wheel now?
You set the wheel up and miraculously it picked the one that you wanted to win.
You really think if I could control that fucking wheel, I wouldn't have figured out how to do it by now? Come on. Jason would not have went up against Pinhead in week 1 of our first Murder Man. That is still the worst thing to ever happen in this show's history.
Yeah, but that was a few years ago now, and the wheel was still new. Now you've been using it a lot. I'm just saying, you spun it 5 times, and it came up 4 times on the movie that you wanted to win. And the only time the one that you didn't want to win won was when you flipped sides. So
it was flipped on the other 2.
It was rigged. It was a rigged wheel.
I had no win here. There's no win for me. Would I rather watch Rocky Horror Picture Show? Sure. Yes. But I got to listen to you guys shit on it. So either way, at least the Killing Tree, I get to sit and bitch about a movie. That doesn't bother me. I do that all the time. There's no win here for me.
I do really appreciate that the Killing Tree is still an axe over Mikey's head.
Right. Yeah, it's still hanging there. So, I mean, that's a good consolation, Nesto.
That's another thing. I was mad when I honestly, Nesto, a big part of me respected the move. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of with so much going on lately that we're doing, to be honest, I always think of it Patreon pick time. I did not even, it wasn't even on my mind. It was perfect, the shot.
It was good timing, and I really appreciate the comment about it being a Valentine's Day gift, as it is a Christmas movie. I'm loving the chaos, Nesto.
And we were just talking about it last month, where it's like, he didn't do it. It's for Christmas, so now I got to wait 6 months. I thought I didn't have to worry about it for a while, and boom, Valentine's Day. Didn't even think of that. It's close enough to Christmas, but yet and still. It was a master-crafted shot, honestly, and he did it so fast.
Belated Valentine's Day, it's so good.
Yep, well played, Nesto.
Directly name me and all in the damn Patreon post, and like I said, a minute after I said this motherfucker, wow. So I respected it a lot, and part of me was because it took off in votes, right? It was right out of the gate. I was like, okay, I'm watching the Killer Tree movie, and part of me was relieved. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little mad. There was respect mixed in there, but a little part of me was relieved. So I don't win here. There's no win for me here. But yet and still,
I know how you feel, because this one has been hanging over me for a while, and as depressed as I was when the wheel was mean to me / Mikey was mean to me for controlling the wheel. As sad as that was for me, there was that relief where it's I'm never gonna have to do this one again. It's gonna be over.
I've had a lot of those on this show. I've had a lot of those on there,
and I understand what you mean. There's relief. There's
yeah, I didn't get that. Now I have to sit and listen to you guys bitch about this movie, and I still have every month. This is gonna hang over me again. And at the end of it, eventually, I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie. Just don't know when.
Not to mention, you're gonna have to watch Barbie.
Now you're also gonna have to watch Barbie.
Yeah.
This was a Greg pick.
Kick him right in the dick.
We were also just a lot goes into this Patreon pick this month. There's a lot of shit went down.
Yeah. It was so close. I mean, it was a tie. It doesn't get any closer than that.
But the thing going into it was we seen the Nesto pick a minute into the thing opening. Then Chris immediately shot, because I thought that was winning. Then Chris shot when he's still mad over the whole Slashies fiasco. And he's been threatening us with the picks, and he had one locked and loaded, and it was The Sadness. Also, another great move. Can't lose sight in that.
Solid. Also, best movie, I think, that was nominated this week.
Oh, that's debatable.
No. I said it. I'm sticking to it.
But going back and forth in our group chat, we were like, all right, well, it's time to see who hates me or Rob the most this month. And then, bam, Greg, out of nowhere, throws up the Rocky Horror Picture, which is a shot at Cat mostly.
I was going to say, I feel most hated this week.
Greg comes in and wins with something that's not even a horror movie.
All right, let's fucking talk about it. How is this not a horror movie?
It's not in any way scary. It's not trying to be scary.
That doesn't matter.
It does.
It's a comedy horror musical.
It's a comedy. It's a campy musical. I'm loath to use the word comedy for this either, even though that is the thing that it is trying to be.
Yeah, it's not funny either, unfortunately.
I laughed a couple times.
I didn't.
I don't understand. Like, I don't get, this is a very macabre, a gay macabre movie. What's not horror about it?
Speaking of it being gay, I'm going to pull a Rob here. I'm going to get like the big thing off of my chest really early, and then I'm going to shut up. This is my Skinamarink episode. I grew up in a very gay-friendly household. Before I knew that I was queer, I had a lot of gay friends. I went to not one, but 2 performing art schools. I know this movie line for line. Like, I've seen this so many times in my life. I have never liked it. I did not like it the first time I watched it. It's not gotten better with repetition. I hate this movie. I think a little bit that I don't hate it as much as I used to. I went through a little bit of a phase in like high school where I was just so tired of it that like one of these songs would come on and I would leave. I would get up and physically remove myself from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So up until 5 years ago, you would walk out of the room if one of these songs came on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna be mad because I hated this so much. Like, it was the bane of my existence. And I finally made peace with the fact that just this movie is always going to be a little part of my life. Like, it's inescapable. It's so popular. And I've been to stage productions of this. I have been to like Rocky Horror themed karaoke bars. I've seen it, like the stage production. I've done the theatrical like midnight shows for this. I can't escape it. And I've kind of finally made my peace with that. This hopefully is the last time in my life I'm ever going to watch it start to finish ever again. But I'm not as angry about it as I was because I accept that it does something for other people that it doesn't do for me. Like, I am glad that they have it, even though it's made my life inarguably worse. But there was a time, I think it also, like, this movie kept me in the closet longer because growing up, there was a part of me that associated being gay with this movie. And I didn't want to be gay if it meant that I had to get up on stage and sing a song from this. Like, it actually negatively impacted my life. I was afraid of it for a long time. I don't get it. I think the 2 things that a horror musical, that a musical needs is a good story and a good soundtrack. And this has neither one. It has no story. The songs are so annoying. They're grating earworms with no imagination or like redeeming qualities. And it's not a horror movie. Like, you can say that they were playing with the horror aesthetic, and that is as far as I will go with that. Because everything else, it's just about being campy and in your face and ridiculous. And maybe there was a time before I was born where that was really subversive. Maybe that meant a lot to people that were like in the community and were having a tough time. And like, I am really glad for them that they had something like this to be proud of. But it is so kitschy and bad, like, for someone that grew up with it when I did. And I resent having had it forced down my throat my entire life. I'm so glad to be done with this film forever.
But if it plays with horror aesthetics throughout the whole movie and never budges from it, how is it not a horror movie?
There are horror movies that play with like rom-com aesthetics that aren't rom-coms.
But we're not talking rom-com. We're talking an entire genre. This thing was macabre as fuck. Every character.
But it wasn't macabre as fuck. It was
like a gay macabre. It created its own lane. It stuck to that theme the whole movie through and through, start to end.
But it wasn't macabre. It was kitschy. And there's a difference.
It was like a gay macabre. It's hard to quite put your finger on it because it was dark. But it wasn't. It was dark and bright at the same time.
They play with the aesthetics a little bit. They play with them. Like, they don't even commit to them. They play with them, and that's fine, but it doesn't make it a horror movie.
But they did commit. They committed to what they were doing the whole movie.
No. They committed to what they were doing, but that thing was not a horror movie.
No, this is not a horror movie, and it's not dark at all. It's not trying to be a horror movie.
It's trying to be a horror comedy musical, and that's exactly what it was.
It's trying to be a comedy musical.
Yeah, and it's not funny, and the songs suck.
The songs were good.
Costume.
And I don't even like this type of music. But the songs are, honestly, out of all the musicals that we've watched, Sweeney Todd, Repo, this was the best music for me, hands down, by far.
This was the worst. I would watch Sweeney Todd or Repo again 5 times each before I watch this again.
That was another
thing.
And
I hated those other two.
This wasn't every word in the fucking script a song.
Damn near. There are a ton of songs in this movie.
There are, but there's actually...
And they're not good songs.
I thought some of those songs were good, man.
No, they're basic as fuck. They're really basic, bland songs.
I don't think so.
I think another thing that really irritates me about this movie, and I think, and Kat sort of hit on this too, that maybe at its time it was doing something special or interesting, but it seems like every actor in this movie is constantly almost winking at the camera going, look, aren't we doing something crazy? Aren't we so out there and nuts and insane? And it's just not. Maybe in its day it was, but it's not now. And it's a horrible fucking viewing experience.
When did this come out? In 74?
Yeah, I don't. 75.
Like 75. Yeah, this is that in 1975, man.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's not that now to me.
But we can't judge it on what it is now. We got to judge it.
Doesn't
on what
hold up. I can watch movies from the 1930s and still appreciate what they're doing. If I can watch a horror movie from the 1930s and still appreciate it for what it is, I can watch this one and I should be able to expect to appreciate it for what it is, and I don't, because it doesn't hold up and it's just not good.
And another thing, just kind of like with the queer stuff, where again, I'm really glad that they had something like that was very in your face and flamboyant in the 70s, where that wasn't really a movie choice most of the time. And I understand, especially in horror, I feel like a lot of the gay movies that we have that have been held up as like pillars of queer horror really only exists by like, lack of other options, and this is one of those where I always feel like I'm going to get kicked out of Pride for some of my horror takes. Rocky Horror is the big one. But I feel the same way about and we've talked about it before, like Sleepaway Camp, I think is kind of offensive like if they made Sleepaway Camp today, the gays would be furious. Like they're just, but because it came out in a time where there was nothing else, it's been, held up. And the same with like Freddy's Revenge or the Lost Boys, or, like we have all of these movies where it's like, I think it was important at a time that these have held up, but it doesn't mean that I have to like it today. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with the messaging or the language, I think, in Rocky Horror, because I have met I have trans friends who very correctly point out that transvestite is not a politically correct term these days, that'll get up and sing this line for line. And it's like, I'm glad that there was an option back then, but it's frustrating to me that we can kind of pick and choose which things we're going to overlook and hold up as because people are still putting on productions of this today. This is still being held up as the gold standard for queer horror, and I don't know that it should be. We have other options now. It's okay.
I for some reason New York has, and maybe it's because I'm from here, but has adopted this movie for the longest fucking time. You can go to Queens probably tonight and see live performances at this in bars, little, performance stages that they have.
It's not just New York. You can do this everywhere.
No, I know, but they put on a big deal.
There's a local theater that shows it pretty much every Saturday night at midnight here.
Yeah, I know it's at, but go to the Village. Oh man, I don't know why, but it's just every weekend you can go see this, and I think that's good.
And listen, if it makes other people happy, I'm to a point where I don't regret other people still finding joy in this, but I do think it's very frustrating because it's just these kind of monumental things. They're sort of supposed to pave the way. They're not supposed to be the end all be all. How I think people treat Rocky Horror. If there had been a whole slew of other movies in this genre that had come out after that had maybe kept up with the times and kept this trend going, I think it would be different. But this is the one for a lot of people, and we should be past this by now,
Yeah, but that's not Rocky Horror.
It didn't do anything influential. It just kind of
I think it 100% did.
In that vein, it didn't. Not that it hasn't been influential at all, but it didn't pave the way for anything. This wasn't a kicking off point for other stuff, it just kind of, it fell flat. And I think, I don't know.
I disagree strongly. I don't think you can blame Rocky Horror for other people not picking up. They had Tim Curry too at that point. Tim Curry is Tim Curry. Just screaming the term transvestite and everything else, making a song out of it, owning that fucking role, man. Tim Curry killed it in this role. In 1975, that was a ballsy move. And they did that. They went through and through the whole movie. They didn't touch on subjects. They made their movie about this. And they paved the way big time. No one else picked up the torch. But you can't blame the movie. They did their part in this movie.
But if nobody else picks up the torch, can you call it influential?
Yeah. I think it has been influential in other ways. I'm not going to say that this hasn't had an impact on media at all, which I know that's kind of what it sounded like I meant. And I don't believe that, because I have seen people who have directly become creators influenced by this. I don't think it's not that there's not a ghost. But yeah, I do kind of agree with Rob. There's a difference, because it's if this was such, it's so frustrating to have people say that this is an important niche of a thing and then not do anything with that niche.
I don't think that's their fault,
because then it becomes obsolete in a lot of ways. There are so many other areas of horror and gay horror and horror musicals and kitschy horror and horror comedies. And, where we've been in it for too long, but we're having an 80s campy resurgence lately. And there are so many things that tie into themes that were explored in Rocky Horror. And you can look at it and be but none of them did all of these things, and you can hold that up as a torch if you want. But I also feel it's, maybe there's a reason why we haven't tried to do all those things. Like maybe it didn't need to be all of those things. Maybe isolating a couple elements from this served to tell a better lasting story or have better music.
We're talking about a movie in 2024 that's still being played every single week all around the world from 1975. It's lasting. And that's what I like about it so much, man. And maybe it is because no one else picked up the torch that it stuck around as long as it did. We don't know. But I don't think you can blame this movie for no one else having the balls to do what they did.
Oh, I'm not blaming it for that. I'm just saying I'm blaming it because it's not good.
I thought it was great, man.
I mean, and I will say this, I've never seen it live. I've never seen the stage production. I've never gone to the theater with all the people dressed up and doing the audience participation stuff and everything. And I think maybe that would be fun. That sounds like it might be fun as an experience, but not as a movie watching, not because of the movie, but because I would be part of a group of people who were excited about this thing. Sitting in my living room watching this movie by myself, it's not a good experience. It sucks.
You have hit the nail on the head. I because this is what I've been trying to like. It's hard to put words to, and I think Rob has nailed what I'm trying to say. I think the thing that people herald is the experience and not the film, because there is a difference. I also hate going to those things, but it's because of my hatred for this film and the music. I can't stress enough how much I hate the music for this. That makes it it's bad for me. But that sense of community, I think, has maybe I wish that it would grow past this. It's not the movie's fault that it hasn't, but it is hard for me to see the praise for the movie and feel like it's misplaced, because I feel like what like the community loves is that sense of experience and not anything about the movie itself other than giving that experience in a time that it wasn't you know what I mean? Like it just and I don't blame the movie for that, because it's not the movie's fault. And again, I'm so glad that the movie was there for people that needed that, but it's frustrating to see it held up as the gold standard and know that people aren't feeling that way about the movie all the time. They're feeling that way about the drag and the fun interactive qualities. I would love to see that happen for other movies, you know?
I loved it, man. And again, I don't know how it's like the guy built a Frankenstein, a sexy Frankenstein. They had so many aspects. It doesn't have to be
It's
scary.
not a Frankenstein that throws a little girl in the lake and watches her drown. It's just a fucking sexy Frankenstein. Who gives a shit? That's not scary.
So then we have to sit and say that movies like Shaun of the Dead and Tucker and Dale vs. Evil aren't horror
People
movies.
die in those movies.
People died in this movie. But it's just not scary. That's fine. It doesn't have to be scary. Horror doesn't have to be scary.
This is not a horror movie, Mikey.
It 100% is.
No, it's not.
I don't see how you can say it's not.
I don't see how you can say this is and say The Shape of Water is not.
Oh,
it's
get out
listed
of here.
As a musical comedy. I just want to clarify this. That is how it is officially categorized.
IMDb has it as horror comedy musical. Everywhere I see it is horror comedy musical.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes has it listed as a musical comedy.
It's Rotten Tomatoes. They're not a horror. I mean, and IMDb isn't either, but a lot of places have it listed as different things. The Shape of Water isn't listed as horror anywhere. There's a lot of horror movies that aren't listed as horror in certain things. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, Tim Curry was pretty much kind of like a vampire. He was in a castle. They were calling it Transylvania. He built a Frankenstein. They had so many things. Everyone was wearing that black and the jewelry. And I don't understand how you guys could not see this as a horror movie. That scene with Tim Curry alone, when he went to stab or kill that bike, when he did kill that biker guy, I wish Meatloaf, right. I wish the movie had more of that, sure, but man, that scene was masterful. And it was great.
It was lame.
What do you mean it was lame?
There's not masterful about that. It was lame.
I love that scene. I love it. The way he walked up, like he was like nothing was fucking wrong, and then just turned the switch and they're zooming in on his face. I thought that was great.
No, I just thought it was just cheesy and lame like everything else in this movie. There's not. It's just not like You say you don't see how I can not see this as a horror movie. It's because I watched the movie,
and I don't see how you don't see it.
It's not horror. It just because it's in a castle and somebody calls themselves Frankenfurter doesn't make it fucking horror.
And I think this is kind of the debate that we had about Scary Movie, where you can look at something that like plays with it's a comedy that's playing dress up with horror costumes, which is fine, but and again, I think it kind of plays into what was going on in the queer scene in the 70s, because there was a lot of like kitschy, flamboyant, like fun stuff, and so they chose an aspect of horror that was all of the kitsch and the gags and the nonsense, and I think it's clever in a way that they played with that aesthetic and tied it in and chose the least scary part of these horror movies. But you can only take out so much of the horror from the horror genre and still call it a horror movie. And I think it's appropriate that it's in the title because, you know, it is an homage to those classics, but it's an homage to the fun silliness of it and not the horror aspect of it. And I think putting it in the horror genre is a disservice both to what they were doing and also to the horror genre.
No, I think it's a disservice to take it out because they didn't want to lose anything. They wanted to have their queer movie. They wanted to have a 70s movie. They wanted all that shit in there. And they didn't want to take any of it out. So they did all of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man. They kept their tone throughout the whole movie.
They kept their tone, but you can't say that they didn't lose any of that because they did.
No, what'd they lose?
The horror and the comedy and the music. God, the music.
I thought the music was great. And they have performances of the music.
It's basic bitch music, Mikey.
The music can't be that bad if they're still putting on shows of it. It can't be.
It is.
It cannot be.
I mean, people listen to all kinds of music that's still popular that maybe shouldn't be.
But music is a subjective thing. You didn't like the music. Rob didn't like the music in Sweeney Todd. I mean, it's a very subjective thing.
Rob didn't like the music in Sweeney Todd, but he can appreciate the skill that went into the composition of the music of Sweeney Todd. Stephen Sondheim is a masterful composer. This does not have that attention to detail.
Also, Mikey, you can't talk about... I've heard the songs you bring to Killer Beats. You can't talk about music.
Right, and the songs I bring to Killer Beats have gone diamond. So yes, they are widely popular, just not to you guys.
So just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good.
People like it. It's good.
Dumb, bad shit is popular a lot.
There is that case, but Mikey, you have to put into and I'll make this case in your favor. The stuff that you bring to Killer Beats requires a lot of effort. There are a lot of stylistic nuances that go into that, and those cues exist in musical theater that were not brought forward for Rocky Horror Picture Show. I can say that it's very popular, and I'm in the minority opinion here, which is all true, but there's also a level of technical skill that was absent, and that's not an opinion. It loses a lot of what makes musicals work.
But musical theater, that's the thing. They did everything. That's what I'm trying to say. They weren't trying to make a by the book musical, because then the whole thing would have been music, and it wasn't. They were doing their own thing. They put their own style of music in it. There is no book on how to do it. And this was highly successful. So there's no book on how to do it. It's just they did it differently, and it clearly worked.
They did it differently, but you can't say that they didn't lose anything because they lost a lot. They lost a lot of what makes things scary. They lost a lot of the horror element of the horror, and they lost a lot of the like musical theater part of the musical theater. It is different. And again, I think it did a lot for paving its own way at a new thing, but I don't think you can say that it didn't lose anything because it did.
They weren't trying to make it scary. They had a dude running around looking like fucking GQ Arnold Schwarzenegger in his underwear. They weren't trying to make it scary.
But if you're not trying to make it scary or tell a story or have like any of the horror aspect of the genre, where do you draw the line at calling something a horror movie?
They did have a story. These people's car broke down. They're at this creepy castle. Then at the end, you have aliens. It's a horror. Midnight Meat Train, they had lizard people at the end. What story was that? They had a story.
Midnight Meat Train plays with body horror from start to finish. It plays with societal horror. It plays with isolation horror. I can point, you might not think that it was scary, but I can point to different parts of the genre that isolate scary elements from different subgenres. What is, other than aesthetic things, other than having the gothic look and the castle homage, other than the like loose, other than the like Frankenstein trappings of it, like the visuals, the skeleton of it, like what was horror about this to you?
You took out a lot of things, though. We can't strip everything.
You can strip everything. They did, and you're calling it a horror movie.
But you just listed things they didn't strip. And you want taken away. You can't do that. Now you're taking away everything that they did and saying, well, what's left? You can't do that.
Left? Because I'm trying to find out where the line is for you. Like, what is left in this that makes it a horror movie? When you take out
all those things, you can even look at the transitions in between scenes. They had the dripping thing. Is it corny and cheesy in 2024? Sure, but that's Tales from the Crypt style thing. And
it was corny and cheesy when they did it in 1975 too, though. That's the point of the movie. They know that it's corny and cheesy because that's what they were making. And it wasn't, they were making a lot of things. They were not making a horror movie.
But those are horror aspects. Why were there's blood dripping in between? They had so many things in there. Riff Raff. I mean, he's a creepy caretaker.
He's a play on the creepy caretaker trope of horror movies that came before it. It's not, they're not trying to make him a creepy caretaker. They're mocking that trope in horror movies.
But he was in there.
But he's not creepy.
I thought he looked creepy in a couple of
silly,
scenes.
Mikey. That character is silly. I don't know how you could see that and not see him as someone who is silly.
He was silly, but he's also, if you look at him, he's creepy looking.
No, he's just silly.
I don't think so, man. There were a couple of scenes when he's on that TV screen and whatever, when the naked dude escaped, he looked kind of creepy. When he was in the window, when they pulled up to the place, he looked creepy.
No, he just looked silly the entire time. He was never creepy. I was never terrified of that character.
You're not supposed to be terrified or scared of anything. You don't need that in a horror movie.
But there was what I mean when I say that is I don't think there was any reason for the other characters in this movie to be afraid of that character.
If I walked into a place and some dude like that walked up to me, I'd be scared of him. I think anybody would.
Not me, because that guy was silly.
This is a fundamental, like, it's a disagreement that you and I have about horror comedies. I think you can only take so much horror away before it becomes a straight up comedy. And it's the thing with Scary Movie. Like, if you're using horror tropes, but you're making fun of them and your goal is laughs, that's no longer a horror movie. If you're, and I'm pretty lenient about like what does and does not count as scary, but if you aren't trying to do that at least a little bit, either like active scares or some kind of existential dread or a societal commentary horror, like it has to have an element of horror that is intended to scare you or make you uncomfortable or cause discomfort, because that is literally the definition of the horror genre. It has to have a little piece of it outside of just playing with things that other horror movies have done. And the thing about it, it's hard to fight in Rocky Horror, because I'm glad that they were having fun. Like, I don't think that's what they were trying to do. And I don't want to say like it loses points for me because it's not a horror movie, it's a comedy. I think that and especially in queer horror, because like so many queer stories are, and especially in the 70s, are just tragic and sad and scary. And I don't want that social commentary from a movie. Like, I'm glad that they had something that was kitschy and fun and silly and a comedy movie, but you can't bring Rocky Horror to a horror podcast and ask me to treat it like a horror film, because that's not what it's a comedy. It's a comedy.
But the societal horror in this is one of the most societal movies of all time. The whole queer aspect in the 70s, that was a whole thing. This is one of the most message movies ever.
But it hasn't held up in that regard. Like it provided an escape in a scary time, but that doesn't itself make it scary. Like
but there's the societal message right there. The whole movie's about it. And that was, at that time, that was such a ballsy move for them to do.
It was a ballsy move, but that doesn't make it a horror movie.
But that's the societal message. That's it. It does do that.
No, it's a message that you can. Here's the thing: it's a message that you can put in context looking back. But if you watch this today, it doesn't hold up in that regard. Like it's not applicable because it requires so much outside context of a specific community in a specific decade. Like it.
I don't think you need everybody knew how bad it was for that community in the 70s. You don't need context for that.
I did. I grew up in a queer-friendly household watching this in the 90s and early 2000s, and that was not context that I had for this. Like,
But movies are not gonna, they've never, and they're not going to start putting context for everything they're doing for
they shouldn't
20 years
have to. It should be incorporated into the plot of a movie so that it can withhold the test of time.
I disagree.
Or it should be considered a comedy, which I honestly, I think Rocky Horror meets that goal. I think it does.
That community has trouble now. What they had in the 70s was worse. I don't think there's any context needed for that. I mean, they put it in your face the whole movie. They went so far with it that was the societal context. That was the message there. And they had so many things from the horror community in there that I just don't know how you guys can try and take it out of there. Especially when we're talking, you have so many movies like Shaun of the Dead where there's none of that. Like
there
Sharks of the Corn.
No. Sharks of the Corn might be a comedy movie, but which I've admitted to on the show
and
before.
Slaughterhouse. Like so many of them, they're not scary. There's zero aspect of scary.
But they're trying. Not Sharks of the Corn. Slaughterhouse is trying a little bit to be scary. Like I'd argue more than this. Shaun of the Dead, absolutely. It because it incorporates the societal commentary like into the plot of the film.
The societal commentary is that is the plot of the film.
There is no plot of the film, which I because again, I think these sound like complaints. I'm not trying to complain about them necessarily. I didn't like them, but I do think it's very clever that they used these like tropes in a silly, fun way. I'm glad they did that. I think it was what was needed at the time. I think that it was helpful. I think that's a big reason why people have the enduring love for it that they have. Because if you like the music, which is a hurdle I will never get past, but if you like listening to the songs from this, it's fun. It's a fun experience for that was needed at the time. I think it's clever. I'm glad they did it that way. I wouldn't change it. But I also wouldn't call it like a horror movie. That's just like another kind of random thing that they were playing with, where it's like, oh, here's a wild structure that makes no sense. Like that in itself isn't scary.
I think this was, it made its own lane, and it carved its own section in the horror genre. And I don't see how this can't be considered a horror movie. I'll never understand.
It made its own lane.
There's nothing else like this. It carved its own
path forward. I agree with that, but I don't think it did that in. And this is going to sound like a criticism because I'm a horror fan and we're on a horror podcast. I really think that it's a disservice to the movie and the uniqueness of it and their messaging to try and put something this different into the box of the horror community. And I believe that, like, they were doing their own thing, but it's unfair because if I have to put it up against other horror movies, it's not going to do well.
But if you put it up against other horror comedies, that's the thing. It's a horror comedy musical. There's not too many of them.
If I put it up against other horror comedies, it does not do well because it's not scary enough. If I put it up against other comedies or other musical comedies, it would fare maybe a little bit better because I think that's, but it would still suffer because I don't think it's as funny as a comedy movie. Like, it's its own genre, and that is a double-edged sword because what can you compare it to without it suffering in some regard?
I don't see it, man. I think this movie was goth and macabre as fuck all in one, and a creature of its time. I just never in my mind ever could see this out of the horror genre. I don't know. And Tim Curry, his performance in this, like, I just, everybody in this, you guys at least give it, the performances in this were great.
I will give you a performance in this. Yeah.
Just Tim Curry?
This is some of the worst goddamn performance I have ever seen in my life. I think it actually might be worst directing because I think that was what they were. I think the intention, the director sat everyone down and was like, I want you to act like you're in a bad high school play. And everybody nailed it except for Tim Curry, who went fucking above and beyond and was amazing.
To be, because there are a lot of people I like in this. Susan Sarandon is a terrific actress, and she's
she can act.
Barry Bostwick is a very good actor, and he's terrible in this movie. The only other performance I might be willing to give for this movie is Meatloaf, but he's only in it for like 4 minutes or something stupid. Like, he's barely in this thing.
I thought it was great. I mean, in their universe for this movie, it all felt perfect.
I will say, if you take Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter and you put him in virtually any other movie where he doesn't have to sing these songs, he can sing other songs. That's fine. But if he has to sing these songs, he loses points. But if you put him in any other thing, I could see him being like an icon that I would get behind. Like, I would die for him. But just in this context, it's the rest of it brings him down for me. Like, I have a really tough time seeing this character.
Yeah. I do think that with the performances, it's sort of like we've talked about Sherry Moon Zombie and the Munsters. Like, she gets a lot of flack for that movie, and people talk about how they don't like her performance, but I think she gave the exact performance that she was asked to give.
Yeah.
I have to believe that that's true of the cast in this movie.
Of course. Look at the movie. Yeah.
So in that regard, the performances are good. I just don't happen to like what they're doing. So I'll give you that much, Mikey. I found every character except for Dr. Frankenfurter to be extremely annoying. And him, honestly, the character itself, only slightly less than annoying.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're supposed to be. everything was on the same wavelength. You know, like that was what they were making. Tim Curry kept talking to the camera. That's what they were doing here. If you don't like it,
I hate it when characters talk to the camera.
Right. If you don't like it, you're not gonna like it. But you know, that's what that's the kind of movie they were making. They were talking to people in this movie.
There's a lot of everything that I don't like in this movie.
They had the stops with that narrator guy. I thought that was funny as shit.
I hated that.
They were literally talking to their audience throughout the whole movie. That's the kind of movie this was. Third wall was gone.
Yeah, I hate that shit. It's stupid.
I usually do too. I don't always hate. It depends. It's very iffy. If you do it well, fine. But, you know, Funny Games was a good example. They did it and it was like weird, but somehow it worked a little for me. It worked here.
It worked really well for me in Funny Games. Because I was scared.
Well, that was a movie you were supposed to be scared. This was not.
Yes.
Right.
That is.
In this movie, I was supposed to be laughing, which I wasn't doing either.
You were supposed to be laughing and going, holy shit. And I went, holy shit.
And I wasn't doing either of those things. I mean, I was saying holy shit, but it was more like, holy shit.
I'll never understand you guys, man. The visuals in this were great. I don't understand. Right before the sexy Frankenstein came out of the, I don't know, tub thing, whatever that big thing was. Man, Tim Curry standing there with the red thing behind it. Dude, the statues. Like, that room was a little creepy.
No, it wasn't.
It was a little bit. And you got those motherfuckers standing on top, dressed all funky. And it was a little creepy to me. I was like, what the hell is this?
I didn't find it creepy at all. The only set that I enjoyed in this movie was when they were, I believe it was when they were on the stage and they had like the old RKO logo behind them as like the backdrop. I thought that looked cool.
That looked cool too.
But mostly just because I love that old RKO logo.
I thought the dinner scene looked cool. I like the sets on here, man. That was part of the vibe.
In all fairness, I will say the sets were consistent with the kind of movie that they were making.
Yeah. And I think that's really a big part of my problem with this movie is it's just not the kind of movie that I like.
Yeah, Mike, you said it yourself. Where it's like it's very tonally consistent. They were making a very specific kind of thing, but the downside of that is that not everyone is going to like that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes all over again.
It's not tomatoes, it's tomatoes.
That was both scarier and funnier than this movie.
It's a movie that I'm not going into that movie. There's no way I was going to like it because I don't like that kind of movie. Coming into this movie, I wasn't going to like it because I don't like this kind of movie. And I don't think it's a good movie. I don't think the script is any good. I don't think the songs are any good. I don't think the jokes are funny.
I laughed a couple. When he told that girl, I didn't make him for you. That shit was funny to me, man. Like, I don't know. I got it. I was there for everything they were doing. Like I said, I have the Janet fucking necklace, man. I really like this movie. So there you have it.
Yeah. I
just one final time, I'm glad that this exists. I'm glad that people get something out of it. I really appreciate that they were able to do something new in a time where it was a big risk to do that. Like, yeah. I'm glad for all of those things. I would not take it away from anyone that loves it. I will not call it a horror movie, but
I'll never.
And that is something worth mentioning. Because I've done nothing but shit on this movie the entire time. It's at the time that this came out, the only place there was no place to see anything like this outside of live stage shows in a handful of major cities around the world. New York, London, San Francisco, those were the places you were seeing this sort of thing. If you were in one of those cities and you could go to a live show, right? Like a theater performance of some sort. So it did break a barrier in that way. And I'm glad for the people that it helped, and I'm glad that they did, but it's still just not very good.
I'll never. the fact that Tim Curry was as successful as he was after doing this movie is unfortunately crazy.
I don't think so, because Tim Curry's immensely talented.
Oh, absolutely. But I've seen several times where he was worried that this would ruin his career in a way. Like, he wanted to take the risk, but he understood what came with the risk. Like, there were a lot of people at that time who very well might not have touched him just for doing this movie.
Also, Tim Curry, not his best performance here. His best performance is in the movie Clue.
Clue, yeah.
No, I
funniest
give it to him
performance by far. Also,
yeah, definitely his funniest performance.
I give it to him this all day long, man. The way
I do feel like doing this movie opens up the door for us to cover Clue.
I would argue more people die, and Clue is more suspenseful than Rocky Horror. No, I also, and this is something that it's something we were talking about with the remakes and stuff. I really just support people doing weird stuff for them, even when it's a movie that I hate with a passion. Like, I hate the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's my nightmare of an experience. But I'm glad that they took those risks. I'm glad that they paid off. I would love to see more movies like that kind of taking I'd love to see more risks being taken today. Like, I honestly, and this is the best praise that I can possibly give the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean it with my whole heart. This was more daring in 1975 than a movie that we could make today. And I believe that, like, wholeheartedly. I don't think we're this brave in cinema anymore. I think that's tragic, and I'm glad that there was a time that we were, like, and it's one of the reasons why I've been trying really hard to tone down, like, Lisa Frankenstein is a really good example of this. I've been trying to tone down my public, like, hatred of that movie, because it's very clearly not for me, but I want to see people, like, taking those risks and doing weird shit, and I'm glad to see other people vibing with it. That's kind of how I feel about stuff like that generally. I would like to see more of it today. I'm glad that people had that in the 70s. I think it's, and Mikey, I'm not gonna, like, reflect. I'm not blaming the movie for this. I think it's a tragedy that we don't have more stories like this that are applicable to this time, like, in that way, you know? Like, that's just sad to me that we don't have a Rocky Horror for this generation. We're still using the 75 Rocky Horror. Yeah. Like, I hate that. And even with as much as I hate this, like, I do wish that we had something like this. I you know?
Honestly, if they were to make one for this generation, it would just be a remake of this one.
That hurts. It's true, but it hurts.
That's the biggest crime of it all, man. That's kind of why, like, I admire this movie so much. I really do. Like, honestly, maybe the 80s, hell, maybe even the 90s. It's not as much of a risky move, but man, that's the biggest crime, that movies have lost their balls to do it. And I feel like it's because they've become such a corporation and there's so much money to be made that they're too afraid to miss out on any money, and they're afraid of what'll cost them money, of people saying, I won't watch fuck those people, man, just do what you want to do. And that's what this movie did, and it was ridiculous, and I love it. I truly do.
And those two things aren't mutually exclusive, though. I can love the stance that this movie took and the limb that they went out on to make this movie, and also think it's not a very good movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that I just, like, because I shit on this movie. Like, I have today. I do a lot publicly, but I'm so proud of and it's weird to be like, I'm proud of the filmmakers of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was not born in 1975, but I am. I'm really, they did something, and that is iconic, even though I hate this movie.
It's like I told people after Black Christmas 2019, just because I agree with the message of your movie doesn't mean you made a good movie.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of shit I don't like that, I'm like, yeah, man, good for you. Yeah. Anybody standing, especially when it's for what's right. I mean, you stand for what you want, and I admire that, sure. But when it's for the right reasons, all go.
Yeah.
100%. And, you know, like Tim Curry, man, does not get brought up enough. That is a straight man playing this role. The comfort he showed in this performance was so seamless. You know, like it's just wild. And young in his career, too. This is like his, what, 4th, 5th movie he ever did.
Mikey, I'm really glad you brought that up because that's one of the like few things that I will also just really go to bat for Tim Curry in this, because a lot of people like look at, and it doesn't happen as much with Rocky Horror, which does get, I feel, a lot of preferential treatment from people who would otherwise call out movies. But you look back to like older films that had, I don't want to say like transvestite characters because you're not really supposed to, but like that have transgender characters, even from like the 90s and stuff, where people are like, but it was played by a straight man, you know. But the courage that it took for Tim Curry to do this in this time, I think really can't be understated. And I'm glad that he doesn't like, that was something that I'm worried for Tim Curry's public stance. But that was kind of a fear that I had just like when call out culture started, where it's like, I was always kind of afraid that people were going to start going after Tim Curry for this, because it's, I can hold it up like as a storytelling metric and say like, this doesn't do story things well by today's standards. Like it didn't give anything to me story wise, but I don't think it's the same to do that with like, political stances, you know, because you have to have a road forward, you know, like,
yeah.
And Tim Curry being willing to take this role was a huge step toward us. That is the one thing I think if we made it today, we would get like maybe a more diverse cast for this, which would be great, but it wouldn't be possible without this, like having come out with Tim Curry. And yeah.
But and Mikey, do you think I'd look good in that outfit that he wore?
Absolutely. I want to see you do it tomorrow. Sure. Yes. Send me pictures, please. With a green background to make it easier for production later on. Don't worry about all that.
The Patreon show.
Yeah, man. This could have ruined his career before he even started, unfortunately. But that's a reality of what he, you know, the time he took this in. And forget about like him taking it, you know, we just spoke about all the greatness to that, but the fact how well he did, man, was just crazy, like seamless. It was great.
And this isn't the kind of thing that it would have been good if it had been half-assed, or if you could have
100%,
like, if you could tell that he was uncomfortable, like, but he helped everything when he did this movie. And that's something that like, I'm not even going to try to take away from this. Like he did an exceptional job in this role, and it means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. I've always said it, the range on Tim Curry, holy shit, man, that guy, just talented actor, period, can do anything. Yes. And so can Rob in that outfit. You should, I'll buy it for you, Rob, if you'll wear it. Honestly. All right. Do we have reviews, facts, and trivia and all that stuff?
Yes, we have reviews and facts. And I actually didn't do facts or trivia because that's not my department, but I'm going to assume Rob has them. Okay.
Yes.
That's the wear my balls department.
I have a very small percentage of the available facts about this movie. There's an absurd number, and I got tired of reading them after a while.
I believe you.
Okay. So we have an official tomato meter of 80%. We have an audience score from Rotten Tomatoes of 85%.
Wow. That is higher than I even thought it would be. Good Lord.
I am not. I'm honestly, that was lower than I thought the audience score was going to be. I'm not going to lie to you. The IMDb rating is 7.4 out of 10. Okay. I have reviews. Where did they? Okay. This one, we don't have to go through the whole thing because it's a longer one. 10 out of 10. Raw, childish, adult fun at its very best. That one kind of weirded me out. I'm not gonna lie, because childish adult fun is a phrase I didn't like.
A little creepy.
But then it doubles down on this take, if not the wording. This film is pure adult fantasy fun. It is escapism at its ultimate best. If viewed with an open mind and a sense of fun, one can lose all sense of self and worries. You have to allow yourself to feel the joie de vivre, which Richard O'Brien intended.
Maybe that was my problem.
I don't have the joie de vivre.
Yeah, I'm out of that. I'm out of the joie de vivre, whatever the fuck that is. I don't have any of it. Sad.
Which and it goes on, which I thought was really interesting. It describes this as 1930s through 50s sci-fi nostalgia, which I thought was kind of an apt comparison.
Yeah,
because I think it does have that nostalgic aspect.
Yeah. I mean, it calls out a ton of those kind of movies and stuff with that opening song.
And I think sci-fi also maybe explains why I'm reluctant to, because it's playing with tropes from a lot of like slipstream genres that weren't quite horror to begin with. In my opinion, that very borderline stuff. But anyway, like I thought that was interesting. The other good review that I pulled for this, 9 out of 10. This one passes the vibe check. Some movies are just made to be felt. The status of this film as a beacon for sexual identity and deviancy speaks for itself. I'm glad that this film exists and exudes charisma for sexually repressed to feel less seen. Other than that, I really like how much this film loves other films. Its countless references and homages to previous horror films and studios are neat. As with many musicals that have roots to stage production, you get a feeling that a little bit of the magic is lost by watching this on a TV at home and not experiencing the production of it. Really glad I got around to watching this cult classic. I now understand why this film is so iconic. I thought this one was really interesting because it calls back to some of the like roots of the movie. I disagree with it though, because again, one of the things that I think is very strong, even though I didn't like it personally, I think it does really capture that kind of stage-like environment to film in a way that not a lot of other movies could. I didn't like that aesthetic, but they did a very good job doing it. So
it had a very artsy feel, even visually. Yeah, I think that when I think theater, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I do actually have one other good one. One other good one. It wasn't rated, so I wasn't quite sure where to put it. I dropped it in the middle, but very important point. It's just titled Good Movie. You have to remember that this movie debuted in 1975 and that it was a huge hit. There's a few good songs in it, and the storyline wasn't that bad either. I found the movie to be very entertaining. This wasn't the first movie about the LGBTQ movement. The first one came out in, period, 1962, period. It does not clarify what that was or elaborate on whether this one is better or worse or has stood the test of time better. But But
at least now we know when it came out.
Well, we know it came out in 1962.
Yes.
So now to the negative reviews. 1 out of 10. This was another one of those. There were a lot of like 8 through 10s, and then there were 1s out of 10s, and there was not a whole lot in between those. 1 out of 10. Worthless tripe. Let me begin by saying that I prefer films that are considered to be cult or underground, but this movie is just terrible. I think it would be less painful to shave off my pubic hair with a cheese grater while getting a lava enema than it would be to have to sit through this junk again.
God, that's a bit much. Damn. Good Lord. You gotta get that graphic with it, sir. Leave your pubic hair out of it.
And if you got to shave, manscaped.com. I mean, that's sponsoring us no more. That promo code still works.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about Manscaped the entire time I was reading this review, kind of hoping we could lure them back. I promise to find a pubic hair reference in every review moving forward if we get our Manscaped sponsorship to return. As for the ending, you'll have to tell me what happened. I walked out after about an hour. So he didn't make it through to the end.
Didn't make it.
This one, I think, is kind of more indicative of my experience with the film. It is called Cheap, Degenerate, and Awful. I have to bite my tongue and smile when my friends start banging on about this film. I suspect some of them don't actually like it, but feel like they can't say so because it's cool to like this film, isn't it? The first time I saw it, I was unimpressed. It looked cheap and lame. The songs were like something you might hear at a 6th grade form school play, and the overall feel was just nasty and degenerate. A couple years later, it turned up on late night TV, and I gave it another chance, and quite frankly, I disliked it even more. It's obviously not my kind of film, and I honestly can't understand why so many people like it. ... or say they do. I obviously don't have a problem. I don't think this movie is too degenerate for me.
No.
I don't think it's like, I don't have an issue with the aesthetic, but it does look cheap. I do agree about the songs feeling like they come from a 6th grade party, and I do often feel like my opinions on this movie are not welcome in my friend group.
Yeah. I do like the reviewers' assumption that because they don't like the movie, the people who say they do are lying about liking it.
I do. I like that. And I understand. Like, it feels like a conspiracy against me sometimes.
Yeah. Like, no, you can't possibly like that. I didn't like it.
Final one. This one we just had to bring up because this guy feels so passionately about this. 1 out of 10. Overrated pile of garbage! ! Don't get the extremely high rating! ! Not even the phenomenal Mr. all lowercase Tim Curry, all capitals, can make this pile of overrated garbage remotely any good. It has no plot, terrible acting, terrible music score, and no genre? ? I guess it wants to be a horror musical comedy, but it succeeds at none of them. ? Wake up, people! All caps, 6 exclamation points.
Good Lord.
Did I write that, Kat? Is that?
I think maybe Rob wrote this one. It's from Radio Rob 123.
Yeah.
If it's from TikTok, it's not him though, because he's not Radio Rob 123.
No, he's not Radio Rob 123. He didn't get there.
I gotta report that guy again.
And don't forget to report Slasher Radio on YouTube.
I know. I can't believe somebody took that already from us.
Do not report Slasher Radio on YouTube. For the love of God, please.
I don't know how to report somebody on YouTube. Took me forever to figure out how to report that one guy on TikTok.
Figured out how to change your name to I Be Banging on Discord. I don't know what's possible anymore, okay?
It took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure that out. I was committed.
All right. Is that it for reviews, Kat?
That is it for reviews.
All right. Are we ready for facts?
Ready.
I'm ready for some facts.
All right. The estimated budget for this movie is $1.2 million. Its worldwide gross is $115.3 million.
God damn. That's a scary amount of money for its time, honestly.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem with that is it's still making money at the box office.
Right. I was just going to say, considering how much it's still made merchandise alone.
Yeah. Barry Bostwick claims that he was always wet during filming because the castle had a leak. He said there was one warm room that was filled with space heaters where the cast members would take turns warming up until that room caught fire.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Worth mentioning, this is the film debut of Tim Curry. Or actually,
his first one?
It says theatrical movie debut of Tim Curry, so I don't know.
Yeah.
When this movie first opened, it had a traditional release with afternoon and early evening screenings, and it bombed. Meatloaf said he went to an opening week performance with writer and director Jim Sharman in the Midwest, and the theater was empty except for the two of them. It wasn't until, midnight screenings became popular and word of mouth started to spread that the midnight audience was having a good time enjoying the movie. It began showing at midnight in a few cities and became so popular that it has been shown continuously in movie theaters since 1975, making it the longest running theatrical run in history. There is also one theater in Germany that has shown it every single week since its release in 1975.
God damn. That's crazy, man.
That's too much.
When Barry Bostwick pounds his fist on the table during the dinner scene, he accidentally pounded on the hand of Susan Sarandon. So the reaction that you see from her is real. And then she got her revenge by stepping on his foot with her spiked heel during their floor show scene, and his reaction is absolutely real in the film.
That's hysterical.
Richard O'Brien was concerned that Meatloaf might not be able to handle Hot Patootie Bless My Soul. O'Brien brought out the music and handed it to him, saying, "It's okay to flub a few lines. No one in the London cast has ever sung the thing completely through correctly anyway." Meatloaf looked at it and replied, "What's the problem?" Then sang the whole thing without missing a beat.
Damn. That's a pro.
Impressive.
Meatloaf was great.
Yeah.
Steve Martin auditioned for the role of Brad Majors.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't get it, but he auditioned. Vincent Price was offered the role of the criminologist, but he turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. He did say that he was interested in the role because he'd seen the musical in the West End and it was apparently a big fan.
Listen, nothing would undo the damage of the music for me for this.
Mhm.
There's an alternate world out there somewhere where it has both Steve Martin and Vincent Price, where I like this movie a lot more than I do in this reality.
Peter Hinwood is only slightly embarrassed by being in this movie. He's now an antiques dealer. Although there is a rumor going around that anyone who talks about the movie in his shop will be thrown out. That is not true. He does not throw people out, but he does not talk about the movie at all. He says it's part of his past and he wants to leave it there. So apparently I don't think he's a fan.
Yeah.
I love the term only slightly embarrassed.
The filmmakers asked Susan Sarandon to perform fully nude during the touch me scene, but she absolutely refused.
Okay.
Which actually, honestly, is a loss for us all.
Again, there's a version of this movie somewhere.
In a July 2021 interview, Susan Sarandon said she didn't plan to audition to play Janet. She actually had just stopped by the set to say hello to Tim Curry, who was a friend of hers. And while she was there, producers saw her and asked her to try out. And they said everyone they had auditioned so far had been good singers, but none of them had made Janet very funny. I would argue that Susan Sarandon also did not make Janet very funny.
That explains a lot, though, because if they were like, we can have good singers in here,
right?
But we don't want that.
Apparently, the studio had wanted them to cast a number of more famous American singers, and they had offered a higher budget for the movie if they had. Well, I say American singers that were more popular in America. They were mostly British, to be honest with you. Including they wanted to cast Mick Jagger as Dr. Frankenfurter.
Oh, that's different.
And they also had wanted the filmmakers to cast David Bowie in a role. It doesn't say, I could not find out what role, but the filmmakers did not want that. They wanted actual actors, and so they settled for a lesser budget in order to cast who they wanted.
Mm.
Susan Sarandon sometimes dislikes talking about the movie because she hates the fact that none of the cast members got royalties from the DVD sales.
I would be pretty mad about that.
Yeah.
I'd be furious.
Here's a bit of a problem with the movie, small problem, but nonetheless. The criminologist says that the events took place on a late November evening, but when Brad and Janet were listening to President Rick, when they're driving in their car, they're listening to President Richard Nixon's resignation speech on the radio. Nixon's resignation took place on August 8th, 1974.
That plot would have made so much more sense if
Yes.
they had fixed that error.
It is annoying when they do stuff like that, though, right? Like,
it is.
Like, why say November specifically and then play? And this was, what, less than a year ago? You know what happened in August? Just an August evening. What difference does it make? The movie was originally intended to be shown in black and white until Dr. Frankenfurter's entrance, and then only his lips would be in color. The rest would still be in black and white. At the end of Sweet Transvestite, it would immediately go to color, and it was supposed to stay in color up until the superhero song, and then it was going to go back to black and white. They did not do it, though, because they ran out of money and they couldn't process the film that way.
That's better off.
And finally, according to Meatloaf, Elvis Presley was the studio's first choice to play Eddie, and apparently Elvis had expressed some interest in the role, but it never happened, obviously.
I'm telling you, there's another version of this movie somewhere that I like a lot better than this.
I don't want to see no damn Elvis Presley.
My guess is that Elvis wanted to do it and Colonel Parker said no. My guess. That is everything that I have for trivia for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. There are pages and pages and pages of other facts about it if you want to go look them up yourself. I literally got less than halfway through it, and I was like, I am tired of reading this shit. I've got enough for the show. We're good.
All right. Portnoy time. You guys are going to piss me off.
I did not write down a Portnoy score for that. I do want to make a motion, though, here. I think we should also give the... We have B movie scores. I feel like we should have like a non-horror score.
What the hell? No, I can't do that.
I feel like this fares better as like a B sci-fi musical than
it wouldn't change my score movie. Because I just scored the movie based on what the movie is. I didn't really score it as a horror movie. I just scored it based on what the movie is.
I'm having a tough time.
So mine would be the same.
Okay, well,
because I don't score like I don't when I rate movies on like Letterboxd or whatever. I don't rate movies lower because they're not horror movies.
The issue that I'm having is that like all of the movies, because like when I was trying to settle on a Portnoy, I was looking at some of my past Portnoys, but those are all for things that are horror movies, and it's giving me like a skewed frame of reference. I feel like. All right.
Rob, do you have a number ready for this?
I do. I don't know that you're going to want to hear it, but I've got one.
No, I don't want to fucking hear it, but unfortunately you have to give it.
I want to preface this by saying that I do feel kind of bad because every time we do an LGBTQIA plus movie, I end up shitting on them.
Yeah.
Because they're just... Why are they always so bad? Why can't we get better movies to represent this group?
Because you don't appreciate it when we have better movies. I found Us the Perfection, and I was like, this is the one. This is the queer movie that Rob's going to like, and you fucking hated it.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. And again,
I have one this year, though. Our one for this year is going to be good, guys.
All right. Well, then maybe I won't feel so bad about that. This movie is, setting aside the fact that it's not a horror movie, it's also not a good movie. Like it's not a funny comedy. It's not a good musical. The story is virtually non-existent. The whole alien thing makes no fucking sense. I'm pretty sure they stole the effects from Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh, fucking God almighty, Jesus Christ.
Because they look exactly the same. Only they don't even make as cool a sound as they do in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. The performances are good, and that's the only reason this movie gets really any kind of points at all, honestly. This is a 1.3.
What? A 1 point? You said a 1, a point, and then a 3.
Yep.
And you're going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yep. This is not a good movie.
You dirty son of a bitch.
And again, I think that it's probably a good experience to see in a crowded theater with people who are dressed up and playing along. I think that's probably great. I think going to see on stage, the stage production is probably a really great time. But sitting in my living room by myself watching this movie, it's just a fucking drag, man. This movie's terrible.
I can't believe you. You're not allowed to get Portnoys no more, I don't think. What the hell is this, man? God damn. Last week and now this week. And you weren't even there last week. You still pissed me off. All right. Kat, you want me to go? You want to go?
How about I go so we can end on a good note?
That's a beautiful thing.
Or we can... because if we give this a B movie score, I can go pretty high with it just out of appreciation for what it's done. But in terms of personal enjoyment, I can't get very high on this. This is one of my most hated movies of all time. I'm trying really hard to be generous, but I have to like rank it amongst other movies that we've watched for the show. And it's dragging the score down. In a hypothetical B movie situation, I think I can maybe get as high as like an 8. I have to put a pin in a lot of my personal feelings to get there, but I would show some appreciation to it. Unfortunately, Mikey has said that this one doesn't get a B movie score or a not a horror movie score, So I have to rank it with a bunch of horror movies. The highest that I can possibly go, I'm comparing it to my other movies right now. The highest that I can get, and this is giving a full point for Tim Curry. This is giving a full point for just like other people's appreciation of it. I can get to a 2.
Jesus Christ.
I liked it 0.1 more than Paranormal Activity 2. If I never have to watch it again.
Now, what about if it starred Vincent Price, Mick Jagger, Elvis Presley, and Steve Martin?
Easily a 9, right?
And a naked Susan Sarandon.
And a naked Susan Sarandon. Well, I mean, I'm giving a point for everything I kind of like about this movie. So that's that's a 6 at least.
Good Lord. All right.
Or 7, depending on how we want to count Susan Sarandon in this situation.
I love this movie. My mom loved this movie. I have family who have always they still try and drag me out to see. They have a bunch in the city and whatever, and the Village is like I've seen this performed in the Village twice. The movie itself, though, I really enjoyed it, man. I love what they were doing. I love the vibes. I love the feel. Trying to take the importance out of it, because like it's there in my score, but I don't feel like we can be doing that for it to depict the score as much as it maybe should, as like a morality thing. So
which I do appreciate, because as a morality score, like that sways a lot when you don't like a movie.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, if you're adding that in, then my score is going to be much higher.
Right.
But that's not what I'm scoring here. I'm scoring the movie.
Right. Yes.
And the movie's
100%.
terrible.
Yeah. But,
You said yeah. You said yeah. You agree.
Hold on.
No take backs. No take backs.
Kick him in the dick.
All right. So with that tapered way back, I didn't have a score nailed down. I gotta go an 8.1. That's where I'm going with this thing, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I really liked. I wasn't playing with you guys. I really liked this movie.
Lower than I thought you were going to give it, and I do think that's reasonable. I think because if it's the kind of movie you like, they nailed it. They're the only movie that did nail this exact thing that they're doing. And if you enjoy it, it deserves all the credit in the world for that.
And there's at least a 1 to maybe even 3. I don't even know what the scale point different, 3 point for Tim Curry. Like, I cannot say enough about how he just I admire how much he rocked this fucking role, dude, because he truly did. And he was perfect in this movie. So 8.1. That's where I'm sitting. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
I'm really not, but I am glad that we ended on a positive note.
Nope. I've said my piece on this film.
You sure have.
The relief, guys. I never have to watch this movie start to finish again in my life.
That's how I felt about Halloween 3 last year when we did it for Colt. We
haven't done it on the show with Kat.
Fuck, which one? There was one movie that I never have to watch again. I can't remember what it was. God damn it. I don't remember, but I know the feeling. It is great. All right. Patreon.com/Slasher Radio. Greg picked a banger. Thank you, Greg. I hope you enjoyed the talk on it. Greg's been wanting us to do this for a while. This is not the first time he's brought up doing Rocky Horror. So win for Greg this month. And if you want to get in on picking our movie topic once a month, there's nothing we can do about it. It's a voting process, and that's that. We have no say-so in the matter. Patreon.com/Slasher Radio. Tiers starting as low as $3 for a whole fucking month. You get an extra show every single week. You get Easter egg content before, during, after the show bullshit. You get visuals of the show, memes, and everything else. There's even tiers.
This week is really good, guys.
No, it's not. It sucks.
Very, very topical.
Topical, fair, but it sucks.
You're not supposed to tell people things suck, Mikey. They're not going to sign up for the Patreon now.
Imagine. Even tiers with including merch. So be sure to check us out. You also get a free trial. So if you want to try it out for a week, free, no strings attached, no bullshit, nothing. Again, patreon.com/Slasher Radio. You can follow us on Twitter at Slasher Radio. And next week, we will be starting Murder Madness. We will have our interview with Matthew Cote, our discussion. I like calling them discussions. They're more so discussions than interviews with Matthew Cote, talking the upcoming All Things Wicked chapter on Dead by Daylight. It gets into a lot of different stuff on the game. It was real. This is the third time we've had him on, and this is by far my favorite one because it was just a really cool conversation, a really cool and honest conversation on the game. And we had a lot of fun. So, and we also, Matthew confirmed that we'll be talking to him in June for their anniversary chapter. So that's really dope. We love everybody over at Behavior. That'll be up on YouTube and on this feed. And Murder Madness begins. We'll be having quadrants of decades of horror.
Quadrant Madness begins next week.
God damn it. And the wheel returns.
For the Lord Humphrey Cup.
God, you fuck no. Damn it. I forgot
French.
Son of a bitch.
Just occurred to me that I hadn't thrown that out there. Yes, this is for the Lord Humphrey Cup.
There's no Lord Humphrey Cup. Jesus Christ. I forgot about it. I'm at Mikey's Dad. You can also check out the other show that I do with Little Miss Huge Clown Penis.
Huge Clown Penis.
That is called Cult FM. I swear to God, we got an episode coming. I swear to God. So you can listen to that wherever you're listening to Slasher Radio. And that's it for me. Rob, what about you?
Well, first of all, speaking of Allie, I thank you for filling in last week when I couldn't be here, Allie.
Don't thank her.
Although it'd be nice if she cleaned up a little bit. There's like orange soda spilled around here and stuff. It's a mess a little bit.
She brought that shit over here?
Yeah, got it on like the keyboard and the mouse are kind of sticky. It's weird. I don't know what she's doing.
Look, I'm be honest. Allie's just like, she's just sticky in general. That might not have been from the orange soda. We don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for filling in nonetheless, Allie. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Radio Rob123. You can listen to the other show that I do with Kat, the Nick fucking Woo Cagecast. That's Nick effing Woo when you're searching for it in your podcast player. We have, in theory, just put out our episode on the Family Guy. However, in the time travel that's involved in podcasting, we haven't recorded it yet. And I actually haven't even watched the movie yet. So
it's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. But in theory, that should be out. That should be out now. Also, you can catch me. I was a guest on the most recent episode of Our Life in Horror. We did a sort of roundtable discussion there of the title of Is It Horror, where we talked about various movies and whether or not they were horror movies. This one did not come up. But,
I was just going to ask if...
Yeah, this was not one of the ones that was mentioned.
Is that's the Friday remake girl?
Yeah. She wasn't there, though. I think she's dodging me.
Oh, I don't blame her.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, she's made up an excuse to not be there. Said she hurt her neck. Girl out there breaking her own neck to avoid doing a show with me. It's crazy. But Brendan was there, her boyfriend and co-host, and some other people, and we had a good time. So
why
check
they
that
keep
out.
letting you talk?
It's Our Life in Horror because they like me over there.
There's no way they like you.
They know how to bring out the star power when they want a guest on the show, Mikey.
Don't nobody like you.
So check them out. Our Life in Horror, wherever you're listening to Slasher Radio. And also, I'm currently negotiating to get some booth space at AuthorCon. Coming up too. You can meet me there in Virginia in April.
Damn it, Mikey! Do you see what you've done?
He came up with that on his own. I swear to God. And Kat, I apologize for how funny I find that shit. I may or may not be encouraging it because that would be fucking great. Kat, what about you?
I do have booth space at AuthorCon, so April 12th through the 14th, I believe. You can find me in Williamsburg, selling. I have books showing up to the house. I got like a whole box of Revenge Arcs today. So come pick those up in Williamsburg, so that I don't have to, wheel them back. You can also find me on Twitter at cat_velour, VOLEUR. You can find me on Instagram, catvelour. Check out my website, catvelour.com. And yeah.
Rob, you better at least help her from her car to her table with those boxes.
Well, I don't work for her.
Be a gentleman. Come on. What the hell, man?
She can haul those in. But stop by Cat's booth, buy a book, I'll sign it.
Yeah, Robin will be there signing my books, apparently. He's also, I guess, charging for selfies.
Yeah. I'll make you a deal on the selfie.
I'll sign those. So.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a partnership, though, honestly. It was really funny. All right, guys. Murder Madness next week. Good night from Slasher Radio.
All the best of Slasher Radio podcast.